Hello and welcome to the final round of the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. This journey started in early April and tonight is the final round. Coming up.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Hello and welcome to this final round of the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. It's been an incredible journey. It's gone much faster than we all anticipated, and finally we are here. It's Knockhill which is hosting the final round, and it's a fitting track to hold that conclusion. As I'm sure my guests tonight, Scott Woodwiss and Tom Onslow-Cole, would agree. Welcome to you again, Tom.
Thank you very much for having me back. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the finale plays out.
As indeed Scott is as well.
Absolutely. Hi Ryan, hi Tom, hi everybody. Great to be back once again. And yeah, this is it. This is crunch time. This is where we crown our champion, who gets to drive the prestigious opportunity, or get the prestigious opportunity to drive the VW Cup car at Brands. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how this is going to play out, and especially on Knockhill, short track, lots of undulations, 30 plus clears on the grid. It's going to be intense, I'm pretty sure.
It's definitely going to be intense. I mean, it's intense when there's one car on this track, isn't it, Tom? Never mind when
It's
when
an
there's
intense
20.
track to drive completely. Yeah, it's a fantastic track for racing at, as I'm sure all the drivers are experiencing, but also to watch at in the sim world here. I guess it's it's very easy to watch the broadcast and follow live with what's going on, but it's a bit of an amphitheatre as it is as a natural circuit. But I think the racing here is incredible. There's not too many corners, a few long straights where slipstream will definitely be coming into play, and there's lots of overtaking opportunities. So I think this is going to be a great spectacle.
It is. We're going to talk more about the track as we go through this broadcast, of course. But there you can see, of course, is the pathway to the championship, as it were. We started there way back at Brands Hatch before taking in the sites such as Verano de Meligari and Poznan and Rockingham and Thruxton, all classic tracks. Lots of British tracks in there, of course. And remember the three foreign tracks that we have in there from Poznan, Verano de Meligari and Most were traditional Clio circuits in the past. So those tracks have been well loved over the years. And we're now into our fourth season, in fact, of racing this Clio Series. Of course, rebranded this season Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. And the champions in the past have been, for Season 1 was Adam Vaughan. In Season 2 it was William Levesque. And in Season 3 it was Toby Davis. Now they've all driven for THR in that time, but it seems as though today, Scott, we're going to have a new champion from a different team, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely, because of course Jack Keithley came in with the Precision guys. He is at the forefront and he runs everything on the touring car side for Precision, and he's come in and these guys really have turned the Clio Series on its head. They really have taken the fight to THR, who have a very established team in Touring Pro Series, and they really have shown some dominance here, and they really have made it a proper ding-dong battle between the two of them. You can see the championship up on there, and we'll read it through as we go along. So Jack Keithley has an 83-point lead over Toby Davis in the championship. Second and third are still up for grabs between Toby Davis and Jesper Talborg, both the teammates in THR Orange. Although Toby has said to me beforehand that he's not too concerned whereabouts he finishes second or third. He just wants to go out there and have a good time here at Knockhill. Alexander Lauritsen, Simon Kielov and John Monroe are in there in fourth, fifth and sixth. So they're going to be having some fun, as well as trying to support Jack as well as much as they can, if that's their choice. Looking down the rest of the top 10, we've got Chris Hacker's come on pretty strong. So has Gary Lennon. Rasmus Sales, since he joined THR, has also done pretty well. He even won a race last time out, the first race at Snetterton. And then Jimmy Hughes rounding out the top 10 also to go along. The teams championship is THR
Important
Orange.
as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. THR Orange at the moment. Precision feel that championship is lost though, because THR Orange have a pretty decent lead. They've got a 90-point lead over Precision Motorsports at the moment. So THR Orange, they want to try and get themselves a couple of victories if they can afford to, if they can make that happen today and wrap up the teams championship, because they feel that's only what they can really go out for today. They feel that in some ways, to put it as not too harshly, the Drivers' Championship for them has been a bit of a lost cause. The Teams' Championship is more up for grabs for them. Precision can pull it off if THR Orange, that is to say Toby and Jesper, have a bad day. And of course, that if Precision can come through and capitalise on that, they can possibly snatch it right underneath their nose.
There's 194 points left in the Team Championship, just for the viewers to think about. So they've got a 90-point lead with 194 left. So it's eminently possible, of course, but it's a little bit unlikely.
Yeah, it is, but they've got to go out there and try and do as hard as they can. Of course, Knockhill's a circuit where really, I guess, lots of elevation changes, very twisty, very tight and tricky, as I'm sure Tom will talk us through a lap later on. But it's a circuit where I think it rewards the fact that if you attack the circuit as best you can without taking being too silly and taking too many stupid risks, it is quite rewarding. There are sections on here where you have to be very careful. You've got blind entries into corners such as turn 1 and the uphill chicane as well, midway around the lap. So if you can really take advantage of the fact that of the nature of this circuit and really attack it in the way that I think it's supposed to be driven, then you can be rewarded with some very competitive lap times. So I think that THR and Precision will go out there as best they can. Core and Ice Cold are in their own little battle. There's about a few hundred points between them. Precision Motorsports 2 are in there as well. Optimum Sim Racing in there too, and Core and Ice Cold. So there's always little individual battles in terms of drivers and teams championships for points. But I think ultimately, if the championship is decided in race 1, race 2 will be an absolute free-for-all, because effectively it's an end-of-term atmosphere. Last race of the season, there's nothing really up for grabs apart from the driver and teams championship. If they're both wrapped up in race 1, we're going to see absolute, I think it's safe to say, mayhem in race 2, to put a delicate phrase on it.
Right, so we're going to go into qualifying 1 in just around about 30 seconds time. So we're right back after this.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay, so we are now going to go into the qualifying session here, and we can see obviously from those standings there that Simon Kilo has been the fastest so far, with Davis, Torborg and Hack right up there. Last season, the pole position winners were John Monroe and Andrew Waring, who were driving for MTR at the time. They both moved to Precision via Ice Cold Racing since. So who's your pick for pole position here today, Tom, looking at the times?
I think last time I loyally stuck with Keelov when we were back at Silverstone National, and he looks like he's doing good today. So I think I'm going to put my commentator's jinx on him.
I think you should put the commentator jinx on Jack Keithley so that we can get an exciting end of championship.
yeah, that's true actually. Maybe that will spice things up. That will make race 2 sort of do or die, I guess.
Excellent. So, Scott, who do you think is going to take this pole position?
I think the man we're looking at right now, putting it on 2 wheels through turn 1, I think probably Toby Davies could spring a surprise. I mean, of course, these guys are out there to try and secure the team's championship, as we said. And he wants to try to do that from the front. So I think Toby, effectively, he's going into this knowing that he's going to lose that number 1 from the Clios from next season. So, yeah, I think Toby possibly, if he can pull it off in this, as going out early as he normally does, I think possibly I could tip him for pole position if he could just find that little bit more on his flying lap.
Right, so just to elaborate for the viewers here, if you've not watched before, if you just not kept up with the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series, as has always been traditional in the Clio Series, we have a Super Pole qualifying session. Super Pole means you get 1 out lap and 1 hot lap and then 1 in lap. So you get basically 1 go at setting a quick lap, and that's what Toby Davis is doing here right now, as he swings out wide to get a good exit from the final corner. And I'm not quite sure why he was throwing it up on 2 wheels into that first corner, because he's just come out of the pits on his out lap, which didn't count. So hopefully he doesn't do that on his hot lap. He's got that out of his system now as he crosses the line and goes up this steep and cambered either way hill at Knockhill. It's very, very strange to drive indeed. And he goes now through turn 1 down towards turn 2, 3, and here's into turn 3 and 4. And then they shoot up towards the chicane, running a bit wide onto the grass. That will cost him a little bit of time, but won't be harming him too much, as now he shoots up over the chicane, flying over there. Great shots as we watch this on his flying. It looks like a good lap so far.
Yeah, most definitely, and a little bit wide on the exit as they head down through, this is Taylor's Bend, I think, and up towards the radio hairpin. I'm trying to make sure what that's really well enforced, got to carry on. Up towards the hairpin, then under brakes. Let's see what kind of line he takes, and again, it's a wider line and just a later apex as he then brings the car onto the front straight. So usually goes out early to set a time as he does to set a benchmark. Let's see exactly what that benchmark is going to be this time around for the final race here, race 1 at least. Cross the line, it is, he's starting his lap. So you must have...
Oh, why is that? We're not registered. Not quite sure why that is the case.
That's weird.
That is very strange.
I did wonder...
No, Nick Hughes is registered, but his hasn't. That's very strange indeed. So he's going to go around and try and register the lap the second time round. So not quite sure why that's the case. But anyway, everyone else is flying through. And I'm not quite sure why that is the case. Perhaps he was further down the pit lane. It didn't count him. I have no idea why that happened, but Steve Travers at the moment has gone fastest of the people who set laps so far, and he's been, I was just noticing the times earlier, he was a surprise package from earlier on. This is the first time he's been in Division 1, and he was way up in the top 10 in pre-practice, so he's looking good. Jonathan Ockelgan has set a decent lap time there also, as Robert Powell goes into 3rd, so we'll watch now Toby Davis. He's got actually a marker for that, not quite sure why it didn't set a lap time for him, but he's going to set a lap time this time round anyway. And that time is 57.086, and Scott Cervic has gone faster than him at the moment. So Scott is on fire here today. He has Scottish lineage and will want to do well at this track for sure, but he is technically Norwegian. So Jesper Torborg 11th and Chris Hack 12th at the moment, because of course they haven't set any lap times. Monroe and Lauritsen and Keithley. Butcher's not been out yet. Strana still not. Jimmy Hughes is on track at the moment, so let's follow him.
There goes my tip for pole. Shows you what I know at least. Is carry on watching Jimmy Hughes and heading up towards the chicane here, the John R. Weir chicane. Very tricky over that cresty. It's fantastic shots you used to see when watching the British touring cars. Are just at the start, the cars are flying through that chicane one after the other. like bullets to a gun, kind of bang, 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 all at once. It was fantastic to see that. As he heads now down towards the real radio hairpin. That's the name I was trying to for that corner.
It's not the fake radio hairpin, it's the real radio hairpin. Oh, look at this! Really under braking, wow!
But he's up though, he's up.
He is, he's up by miles. That was a great last corner as well. He used the camber and the uphill nature of the entry to the corner. Really slows the car down a lot there. There's a couple of different lines you can take. Take the wide exit, you can take the narrow entry. It slows the car down. And Jimmy Hughes goes pole, so that was a good lap in the end, wasn't it?
It was, and I think possibly there was something going on. I think maybe Toby's lap wasn't as quick as it could have been, because I think he went to set his first time, didn't register. I think maybe he backed off thinking he set the time, realised the time hadn't come up, and of course because he backed off he lost a couple of tenths or so, and then put his foot back down to go and
maybe
have another go. So that could have possibly
be a possibility.
been
But he was up, remember? He was up in sector 2, so I think he's lost it in that sector 3. So he must have been going pretty quickly. So let's go on board now with Eric Strana, and this is the view that the drivers get as they head now down the hill towards turn 3, and that's such a deceiving corner because it's a downhill braking zone, isn't it, Tom? We can easily just run straight on.
It is a really difficult section, and you've just come down what is a pretty decent drop as well, so you've got the adrenaline rush from that. You have to get everything steadied up in time for turn 3. Here is through turn, this must be 5 or 6, onto the back straight here is where you can find quite a lot of time. It's uphill and it's slightly blind, so it's deceiving. Those that know the track really well will be carrying those extra few Ks through there.
So, Strana now towards the final corner. Remember, he has been hot stuff in the Touring Pro Series lately. He had 3 wins out of the last 4 races in the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. But it's not been a quick lap so far. Rodriguez goes pole at the moment. Strana goes to 3rd. So it's Rodriguez, Hughes and Strana at the front at the moment. Toby Davis is way back in 5th already. We've still plenty of very strong contenders to come. Rasmus Sala hasn't set a lap time yet. Jacobs, here's Cameron Bruce. Let's stay with him. So he comes down to the final corner. He's 6 tenths down though as he goes through sector 2. Not expected to be one of the fastest drivers, but looking to pick up plenty of points. And he's done well. Monroe goes pole at the moment. Provisional pole there for the Scotsman John Monroe. So on a 56.737, Brewster goes 11th. He'll be pretty happy with that, considering everyone who's gone before so far. And John Monroe, here he is, Precision Motorsports driver. He's on pole at the moment. And that's interesting, isn't it? Because he's been struggling, hasn't he, with the 2013 Clio, Scott?
He has. I mean, he was telling me beforehand that he's feeling better with this car, and that gets, ironically, the final race of the season, he finally sorts the car out, but he's still not 100% a fan of it. So it's good to see John's now managed to get some kind of a grasp on the Clio right now, this new one. He was more a fan of a 2008 Clio, he got some decent results with that. Now he's got this 2013 Clio, again, hated it as much as this man right here, Chris Butcher. Look, he's found some pace recently as well, so he's possibly going to be one to watch too. But yeah, good to see John getting a grasp of this brand new Clio and getting it up there on top of the timesheets right now. And also Pepe Rodriguez, I did notice in practice he was setting some very quick competitive lap times. It was a precision 1, 2, 3, 4 in practice, but the 2 guys who were directly beneath them in the times that of note were Eric Strana and Pepe Rodriguez. And Pepe's done a fantastic job to put it provisionally on the front row. We've still got another 6 or 7 guys to set times, including Chris Butcher. But I think really that laptop can put him in great stead as Butcher's.
He's quicker so far. Whoa. Very committed through there. That was flying through the air. Definitely all 4 wheels off the ground there, I think. But he's quick so far, and he wasn't very squirrely on exit, wasn't he? He's all under control. So, and he's done a decent exit from Station Bend there as it now comes down towards the real radio hairpin. What's the split going to be? It's 0.045 down, so he's lost some time. Maybe that was through that hairpin. It wasn't a great apex there from Chris. He had to turn on a bit more lock on the exit than he wanted to. We'll drive now towards the line. We'll see what the time's going to be. And will he take pole position? Chris goes 2nd with a 0.032 slower than the Scotsman John Monroe. Who's left to go out? Rasmus Sala's on track at the moment. Jacobs, Lennon's coming to the line now, so let's stick with him. He hasn't been quicker in the first 2 sectors so far. Going to cross the track to take advantage of the camber that pushes you down towards and gets more speed in theory, but 14th, and it hasn't been any help at all for Gary Lennon. So Jacobs now about to start his lap. Jack Keithley is there in 24th. I think he's actually gone out on track. Is he showing us gone through at least 1 lap here, Scott? I think I saw him go out on track and just abort in the end.
I'm not sure, he's not on track right now, so I can see it. I can't see anything on there that suggests he has gone out on track. If he has, you obviously missed it, as Lauritsen's only 9,000 per second off pole, but going wide down the exit of the John R. Weir chicane's not going to help at all. That's definitely going to compromise some time into Clark's corner. Very tight, almost nice degree like right-hander, and more.
Just about kept that on track again.
He did, through the Hislops corner. It used to be called Railway Bend, but now it's called Hislops. Now down towards the real radio hairpin. He's only lost a fraction of a bit more time, so even though he's been on the grass, it hasn't cost him too much.
He's got too deep there. Got too deep. Oh, I don't know whether he sorted it out. If he broke very late there, rather than just running too deep, then he may have made it up in the braking, and it would have cost him too much. And he's hugging the canvas. He looked right up against the wall, and it's going to be third. Third, a 0.040 off. So the top three covered by less than half a tenth of a second. Who starts to go out at the moment? Rasmus Salo goes 18th. Wow, so last time out, Rasmus Salo won, of course, in the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series at Snetterton in race 1.
Jack.
So here's Jack's out on track at the moment, and Simon Kilo as well. So Simon's on his hot lap at the moment, ran a bit over the grass there on the inside, not quite legal there, but he's run deep as well at turn 3 should I say. And now up over this chicane requires absolute flat-out commitment. It's actually easier in these cars than it was in the old cars through there. Last year, I won one of these races, in fact. Last year, one race run here while Toby Davis won race 2. So it was so difficult through that chicane to get it consistent lap after lap. And it really was the key to unlocking the speed throughout the race. Here, Kilo is purple in that final sector. Second sector, should I say. And that's a beautiful final corner as well. If he doesn't rev the engine too much coming out of the final corner, this could be pole position for Simon Kilo. He's had plenty of poles and plenty of wins this season, but an error-strewn and incident-scene season has found him outside the championship hunt, and look at that. There's less than half a tenth of a second between the top 4. Incredible. Where is Jack Keithy going to slot in? That's the big question. Here he is. He's finished his lap. He's coming now towards the line. What do we think, guys?
No, you see the
he's
time
quite
there,
a lot off.
He's way off.
Oh, he is.
So
He's way off. He's gone.
And
right
I
to
think
the back
he's
of the
done that
grid,
on
so
purpose.
he
I think
has.
he's slowed on purpose. So look at he's 26. He's at least set a time, but as I think his plan was, he is going to start from the back of the grid. And in some ways, you would have thought he would be somewhere near the front, but of course, then that leaves him under attack with some of the guys at the front. And if he's in the middle, well, who knows what could happen in there? Because of course, you've got guys from the front and behind, so there could be something going in front. Someone might miss their braking point behind. It could all be carnage, and Keithy could be caught up in that. So from the back, even though it might seem strange, that's not as a strange strategy as you might think, because of course if there's any carnage in the first couple of corners, he'll be able to just hang back and just let them sort themselves out. And of course we know how quick Keithy is naturally. Of course he wouldn't lead him a championship if he wasn't. So he might just pick his way through and grab the points that he needs to secure this championship. So that's, in some ways, that's quite smart thinking from Jack. But we've got the grid, so we're going to go through that in just a second, I guess.
We will go through that in a second, but what do you think of Jack's tactics there, Tom? It's going to disappoint a lot of people just starting from the back. It's it's a safe way to go, isn't it? But it's not brave.
It is a safe way to go, but the Clio formula has never been about the safe driver. It's very, very gung-ho and shoot from the hips. It's a shame not to see him trying to emulate that in qualifying and race this outright. He should be going for glory. But maybe his mindset is different. He's clearly been calculating through the year, and he's done a fantastic job to be as far ahead as he is in the championship. So it's worked for him so far. I guess it's just a shame for the viewers not to see the championship leader up there at the front fighting for outright spoils.
It's a bit of a shame, but of course he has worked hard to put himself in that position, I guess, as well. He doesn't want to throw that away just through the lottery of starting mid-pack at a track like this, and it is such an important prize as well. It's a life-changing prize, in many ways. I mean, not many drivers at all get this chance just from playing video games to do what they've done on video game, to do it for real. So it's understandable that he wants that to be safe, but it's not exciting, and I don't think it's going to endear him too much to the fans. Not that I think he'll care too much about that if he's sat in the Volkswagen Golf at Brands Hatch in a few months' time, and with you alongside him, Tom.
No, exactly that, and we all want to see the close racing at the front. But as you said, it's a sensible, calculated thing to do. If you didn't quite have the pace to put it in the first few rows, as you said, that mid-pack can often be quite dangerous. And what he doesn't want to do is have a failure in this race and go into race 2 having to score points to win the championship. He wants to get it done now and enjoy the last race of the season.
He does. So you want to run through that grid for us, Scott? Great pole position for John Munro.
It was indeed. So hometown favourite John Monroe has taken pole position, but by a very narrow margin from Chris Butcher. So Chris is going to be very pleased with that to start on the front row for this second to last race of the season. But John has got support in the fact that it's an all-precision second row. Alexander Lauritsen just out qualifying teammate Simon Keeloff by the mere margin of, it looks to me, that's not even a hundred. How many thousands that is? That's about 7,000 of a second, which is pretty incredible. Peter Rodriguez, very good to get a top 5. He starts alongside Jimmy Hughes again. He'll be very pleased with that to get himself into the top 10, at least just on the fringe of the top 5 as well. 4,000 of a second separates row 3. Just how close it is as well. Chris Hack and Eric Strana, 3,000 of a second separates them on row 4.
That's incredible.
And then we've got
there's a tenth and a half between first and eighth. That shows how close it is.
Most definitely. And then to the back of the top 10, we've got Scott Sovic and Jesper Tolborg. So that's the first three of the main kind of guys, I guess, up there who've been fighting towards the championship in the top 3. Jesper's 10th. Toby Davis back in 11th, so he's going to be starting there. But again, he's already said not too fussed if he finishes second or third, just trying to go out there and get a good result. Jonathan Ottercliff is going to start in 12th. Alongside on row 7, it's going to be Steve Travers and James Fellows. Row 8 is going to be Robert Powell and Gary Lennon back in 16th. Probably would have hoped for a little bit more. Then back on row 9, David Carter for Smile Racing, and in 18th place, Cameron Brewster for the 6th Axis. We said he'd be pretty happy with somewhere around near the middle, and he's around there at least, so he shouldn't be too disappointed with that, should Cameron. Scrolling down for the rest of the grid. There we go. 19th place, Thomas Jacobs for 6th Axis. Alongside him, Rasmus Salo. He's going to be very disappointed with that. He won the race last time out, race 1 at Snetterton. To be back in 20th here, that's not going to be good for him at all. 21st, Nick Hughes. Early pole sitter, of course, in the session. Matt Richards was 22nd. Near the back of the grid with Thomas Demelin, 23rd for Demelin Boys. 24th is Jay Adji. And at the back of the grid, Lucas Demelin, 25th. And then that's the key name at the back of the grid, 26th and last, championship leader, Jack Keithley. And he's some 5 seconds off, 4.5, 5 seconds off pole. We're starting from the back. We know his tactics, but he's going to be playing it safe to try and bring this championship home this evening in the first race at Knockhill.
He is, and I know how difficult. I know Rasmus Salo though would be bitterly disappointed being 20th. I mean, maybe he didn't have too much prep, but I know how difficult it can be in qualifying here because I made just a small mistake. It wasn't even a mistake in many ways. It was just a small mistake, and I ended up qualifying. I think it was 13th in race 2 last time out when I qualified second for the first race. So I know exactly how difficult that can be. So we're going to go into the race now. Then. And what are your predictions for the race winners here, guys?
I think I'm still going to stay faithful to Keeloff. I've given him the jinx in qualifying. Let's see if he can shake it in the race.
And Scott, I mean, you went for Toby in qualifying, but he's way back there in 11th place, as you can see.
I think purely because he stuck it on pole and it is effectively his home race in Scotland. I'm gonna punt for John Monroe. I know it's the easy
Hey, you're changing your opinion. You can't do that.
Well, Toby's going to have some time of it.
That's very fickle.
It is.
Don't judge me. Anyway, I think John. I think purely because of the fact he's been struggling so much with the Clio, this new Clio. Now he's stuck it on pole for effectively his home race in race 1. I think he should do hopefully a good job. He's got Chris alongside him to try and make that done. So there we go. To make it a bit more difficult for him. But he has got support behind him with the form of Lauritsen and Keeloff. So if those two can get in front, then they may just allow John to complete the set, because of course everyone else has had at least one race victory this season in a precision car. So I think they want to get John to just notch one up for the team as well in the end of the season, especially his home race as well in Scotland.
It's a big gap between Rodriguez and Hughes, who's in 6th, and a big gap back to Hack also as well. Not quite sure what's been going on there, but the drivers are making their way around their formation lap, just in case you're wondering what on earth is going on. It's a formation lap with a standing start here, and at the back of the grid, as we were talking about, is Jack Keithley. Now, John Monroe has never ever won a Touring Pro Series race. He came closest last year at the final round at Oldring, when he put me under absolutely massive pressure for much of the race. I think it was in the end, around about 3/4 of the race, before making a small mistake would let me take the win there last season. So I think he's hoping this time around maybe he can make it happen, because he was on pole here last year for race 2. So that's 2 poles in a row at Knockhill for John Monroe. But he's got Chris Butcher alongside him, who hasn't won a race this season in Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. He does have 4 Clio wins to his name, though. Lauritsen and Keeloff have both won multiple races this season so far. Well, Rodriguez and Hughes have never won a TPS race. Neither has Hack, though, of course, Strana has in the past. So everybody is now pretty much gridded up. It's waiting for the back of the field. And here we are. Watch for your lights on the right-hand side there. And we're ready to go racing. And away from the grid they go, John Monroe. A good start there. That's a really good start, John Monroe. And he left Chris Butcher behind, who's trying to just squeeze across on Alexander Lauritsen as they all head into turn 1 now then. And a good start there from one of the THR cars, I'm pretty sure. It must be Jesper Torborg up to 8th. And Davis also is up to 9th as well. At the front of the field, Monroe still leads. A good start from him. He'll be very pleased with that. Butcher in behind. And now it's Alexander Lauritsen in 3rd spot. As they come through the chicane.
Just been kicked.
Butcher in 2nd, Lauritsen 3rd, Kilo 4th, Rodriguez 5th, Hughes 6th, Strana and Torborg. It's actually Hack who's disappeared. Hack's back in 13th, so he's had a shocker of a start.
And it's crunch time, these guys. Everyone fingers and toes crossed down towards the real radio hairpins. They're going to be carnage. Bit of a lock-up for several drivers, but it looks like they're all getting through, I think, just about. And Monroe has kept the advantage, but Butcher's got himself really tucked under the rear wing. On board now with Monroe, looking back. Car number 2, that is Chris Butcher. Across the stripe to go for the first time. It is Monroe who leads with Butcher 2nd by 0.1 of a second. Butcher going to have a look down the inside. He's thinking about it, but this way and that. Trying to make the dummy down towards Leslie from Danville corner, and then Busayak corner. And I think Butcher a little bit sideways. This could put him under attack from Lauritsen and Keelov. Peter Rodriguez doing very well, holding on to 5th position. Also in the background, Jimmy Hughes in 6th. Heading up now through the John R. Wish, who came for the 2nd time. And also bouncing around over those curves once again as they head down towards the right-hander down at Clark's corner, back onto Hislops. And so far, Monroe's holding
Something's happened at the back
position.
of the field. Something's happened at the back of the field. Sorry to interrupt there, but Fellows, Sarlo, Cervic, Jacobs, they've all dropped back down the field. Not sure what's happened. Let's see if we can find out on the replay. It's going to be. Oh, I see what's happened here. So Fellows. There we go. It's a bit laggy, but we are seeing exactly what happened. Fellows went over the curb and has come back on track, and a couple of drivers have collected that. Sarlo and Cervic have all done that, and Sarlo's out of the race as a result now, as you can see. There he is back in the pits as the field carries on, but back at the front of the field, Monroe is still leading at his home track.
Absolutely. A quick update on Jack Keith if you're wondering where the championship leader is. He is down in 20th position, but he's kept his nose clean at the moment, and I suspect he will start moving up as we head further towards this racing. Through the John R. Wish came once again, and Butcher gave me a lot of inside curve across there and head back up towards Clark's once again for the 3rd time. And again, Butcher looks out, tries to have a look, and I think he almost outbraked himself. And Monroe's almost left the door open.
Oh, he actually was so slow on the exit that he held up Butcher in the end. That's a trick you can use in this track, Tom.
It is indeed, and through Clark there, you really have to be careful because of the long drag down to the real radio hairpin. As you can see now, a small hold up on the exit could really make you vulnerable. You can see how tight that pack of 4 is at the front now.
I don't think it's a pack of 4, Tom. It looks like a pack of about 20 at the moment as they come over the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as fast as you can count them. And Davis with the fastest lap of the race. He's in 8th spot at the moment, so he's moved up also as well. Butcher hitting the curve through. They have to be so careful. It is easy to roll these Clios. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be doing Ryan Callan from last year, straight into the wall on the other side and back across the track and taking out Paul David Carter at the same time. And while challenging for the lead, I was in 2nd place at the time. You don't want to do that. Butcher just about. Oh, and who's off the track there? That's Hughes off the track. Hughes has going to drop lots of positions here as a result of that. He was, I think, in about 6th spot at the time. He's now back to 9th, and Strana has got past him, and Davis has got past Strana as well. So Davis marching towards the front. As is Torborg.
Yeah, look at that. Excellent stuff. And now he's going to try and go back a bit. There's a huge lock up down towards the hairpin. There's been any change in position. Doesn't look like it. But Talbot's getting in there as well. And I think Butcher's been shuffled back to 4. Butcher is coming under attack from Jesper Talbot, 3rd in the championship. And the 2 THR Clios will go side by side. Butcher has the toe from Keel in front. But Jesper then just slots in behind. When you look back again to the inside down towards Leslie's. Oh, it's sideways. That's a contact.
That was contact? Very close indeed. Let's try and find out what happened here.
Yeah, so let's look at it again then. So looking back.
Oh, it's all by himself, look. Just makes a mistake with the brake.
He locked the rears. And that was close because Jesper, over the opportunist, has stuck it up the inside and said, come on Chris, give me some room. And eventually he did. It's amazing how these guys, they use all the track and a lot more. I think it's a sandstorm rather than a cloud of smoke. It's absolutely incredible, the dirt being kicked up, but you just can't see
just about see them, can't you?
just about, and now down towards Real Radio hairpin again. His tail look at
Rodriguez is off. The same mistake.
And
Rodriguez is going to go down to 8th spot, and he just gets back out in front of Hughes. So that's obviously a bit of a difficult area. We talked about when the Clios first came along at Croft at round 6, how difficult these new Clios are on the brakes and how they can send you sideways. And everybody's demonstrating that down at the hairpin anyway. So Rodriguez was in a strong 5th position, 6th position should I say, and now he's back to 8th. As sideways there is Toby Davis just about holding off Eric Estrada as they go up towards the chicane once again.
We said this was going to be quite a ruckus, and indeed
wait, that's Torbo. Davis way off the track. I don't know if he's going to be held up now. He has been held up, and Strada's going down the inside, and Davis will try and do the cut back. Oh, just about. Strada has held it. They have to cover the inside now, though, as they come down towards the hairpin. Hughes is sniffing around Rodriguez as well, who was sniffing around Davis at the time. Rodriguez chops off Hughes. Davis now down the inside of Strada. Not quite sure why Strada didn't cover the inside there. And now Rodriguez has forced his way past as well. That is Knockhill racing at its very best.
I'm quite surprised if these guys keep cutting the outside onto the grass on the exit of that Clark's corner, if they're not going to get any penalty for exceeding track limits, because surely if they keep doing that, they're not going to be looked onto favourably.
They absolutely will. Look at down the inside! He got down the inside of Hughes! That was a ballsy move. He just about worked, but they both went wide, and Ockerklin has now lost position as a result. Lennon trying to go around the outside. Ockerklin just flashing his lights saying sorry to Jimmy Hughes, and Lennon tries to stick it down the inside into the hairpin. That's not going to work, and now Ockerklin is running wide also, leaving him invulnerable to attack from Lennon.
I'll tell you something else quickly looking back. Jack Keith is still 20th. Hasn't made up any more positions. I think he needs a few more to make sure he doesn't have to take it to the final round. But then again, he just has to score points and he'll be fine.
Absolutely, because if Davis doesn't score enough points anyway, then it's obviously an 18-point swing. Oh, and Lennon down the inside of Ockerklin. Hello! That's my bit of corner plays, Jonathan. And Jonathan didn't appreciate that one a little bit, I don't think. Lennon's not going to be able to take the position here, I don't think, unless he sticks down the inside. It would be a brave move to do that into Duffer's Dip. I don't agree that they've changed the name of that. It's Duffer's Dip all the way for me, ever since I was a little kid. And they run into there, okay, Ockerklin just about keeping on track. But Torbog's dropped back to 6th. Dropped back to 6th. And now it's Davis who's in 5th spot. There are the two THR orange cars. Looks like they're heading their way towards the title as Rodriguez goes wide once again through the chicane. He needs to watch that because they will be penalised post-race if they run wide too much.
I was going to say, back to that first corner, Duffer's Dip, but they renamed it Leslie's course in tribute of the late, great David Leslie, of course. There is, I think, a good course and the reason why they've done that. But of course, classic corner names, you always want to keep them, but I think it's fitting.
Well, they could have called one of the other corners Leslie's, to be honest.
Well, it's still a tribute. I mean, effectively, David Leslie was a legend of Scottish legend of touring car drivers and from Scotland as well. So I think that's fitting. But that is true. But they could do that in the future. They could even rename the Real Radio hairpin Clellens in the future.
That would be better, wouldn't it? To be honest.
Oh, and Rodriguez on two wheels through Leslie's just about held on today as he's trying to fend off Strana.
Oh, and Davis has been in the wall. Davis has been in the wall. What has happened here? I think he was gone off at turn 1. Let's go on board with him.
We're down towards Leslie's then, and does he have pressure? Oh, he's put a wheel on the
grass.
Gravel
And straight
from the scene of the accident.
Yep, and that's a puncture as well. He won't be able to drive around the next corner. Look, just goes straight on. And in the wall, he's going to glance it again. Oh, just keeps it out of his team. A little glancing blow. We're back to live action, and here he is.
Oh dear.
Just struggling around the circuit, keeping out of the way. It's not gone well for Toby Davis. And only Jesper Torbog is now in the championship. But back at the front of the field, he's not been very much action at the front of the field, but it is still incredibly close. And Lauritsen, we've seen earlier this season, Tom, haven't we, that when he's been at the front of the field like this, stalking, he has been very strong and usually gone on to win this race.
He has indeed. He's very comfortable in this position. All you can see is getting closer and closer, and he looks very composed as well here. John Munro really using every inch of the track and a little bit more, looking at the dust he's leaving behind him.
So Munro, Lauritsen, Kilo. It's a precision 1, 2, 3 at the moment with only Chris Butcher for company, and Lauritsen now has to run. He's not going to go for it. He's not gone for it there. I think he would have been tempted if it wasn't for the fact that Munro is a teammate. Of course, still lots of laps to go. It's a 30-lap race here. That might sound quite a few, but of course it's only a 57-second lap round here as Lauritsen goes for it this time on the surer bet of the hairpin. That was intelligent driving from there. He didn't go for the risky move at station, as I've always called it. He made it real radio hairpin instead, Tom.
Exactly, and has he actually created a gap for Keelov there? It was very close, wasn't it? They seem to have settled back down into their three-way battle for the lead here, but that was very clean. It was a nice move up the inside of the hairpin. Again, I think John Munro there just didn't shut the door. You know, he let him have it. It was quite a lot of camaraderie there between teammates.
Lauritsen, Munro, Kilo, Butcher, with Torborg is in 5th. Where has Toby Davis slotted back in? He's back in 24th at the moment. Disaster for him, Scott.
Yeah, and effectively, unfortunately, I think that is to say that is pretty much his championship charge over, of course, and that has put Jack up into 16th now, so effectively he now has to capitalise past a few more cars, and that really is now, just stays where he is, and he is our champion. Here comes Keelov then to the inside, into real radio hairpin, and Munro just leaves the door open and allows Keelov to take an easy second place there. So I think Munro just trying to settle back, and he realises that both Lauritsen and Keelov are quicker at the moment in terms of track position, in terms of pace in this race. And I wonder if Munro may soon come under attack from Chris Butcher, because unlike Talbot, who I think he's trying to creep up to the back of these 4, Butcher has managed to stay with the pace that these 3 precision guys are holding, and Butcher does have a tendency to use a lot more curve as they now head through Knoxman Corner.
Munro out of shape, it's allowed Butcher to sniff. Oh, it's not going to work though. And the only thing that's going to happen is he's going to hold up Butcher, not being able to challenge Kilo and Lauritsen. And so far this season, Butcher has not had any answers for Kilo or Lauritsen in any of the races when Kilo and Lauritsen run at the front of the field. So it'll be interesting to see whether Butcher's fortunes will change here. Of course, he was ahead of Kilo and Lauritsen early on, made that small mistake, and is now back to 4th here. And he will find it much more difficult to pass Munro than his position teammates found it. Oh, he's gone for it down the inside! Oh, it hasn't quite worked. Oh, he's got the overlap.
Maybe it has.
It's worked perfectly. What a move there from Chris Butcher. I have to say, I'm going to take credit for that one, because I did that to him last season, and he's absolutely learned from that and has pulled it off to perfection on Munro. And Munro was very fair also.
Well, I think you'll find Chris.
Munro maybe not so fair there.
Oh, it's a huge accident! Butcher and Munro into the wall hard. Oh, that was going so well, and that will be the end of the race as we see debris flying absolutely everywhere. That wheel's going to come straight across the track and take another. Was wants to join the other tyres out there. We laugh, but that is disaster for Munro and Butcher's. Butcher's car's still running. I'm not sure if it is.
I can't believe it, Cam. That was a big impact with the tyre.
It was a huge impact. That's watched out on the replay from Butcher's point of view. It looked like it was just all going, fairly well, and it ended up being, Munro just squeezed him a bit too much, perhaps, because the corner's not quite come up, and Munro just not given enough room there.
I think the curve strike as well there was really what caused that. I think Munro squeezed him into the apex a little too much. He hit the curve, and all of a sudden, they're turned into each other, and their trajectory changes towards the wall.
And that could have been a much bigger incident that involved more cars, but that was a huge crash. And Munro gave room at the hairpin, but then didn't give him room at a more dangerous spot, at the top of the hill. I don't understand that.
Yeah, that is true. That's quite weird. I guess the argument with Butcher would be fuming at that, thinking, Munro didn't give him enough space to get over the curb. Butcher will feel that he was forced over the curb, which caused the incident. And Munro will probably argue that he did as best he could, and Butcher really should have backed off. But then again, Butcher had his car fully alongside, so Butcher had a right to be there.
I've got to say, just from a completely unbiased point of view, I've got to say that's Munro's fault. Would you agree, Tom?
I think so. He has definitely shut the door and made the first contact there, he was clearly alongside and had the racing line for the corner. But it's an unfortunate end. Maybe it's one of those accidents, with the curves as they are. That probably was a lot bigger than maybe it could have been. It was only slight contact, but it was enough to end both races.
They just kind of locked together, didn't they? As they went straight into the wall, and it was a humongous impact. So it really was. And of course, these aren't tyres either. There are walls in these, and they look like tyres. And Kilo has taken the lead after a small mistake from Lauritsen. Kilo was a bit generous with the track coming through turns 1, 2, and 3, but he was close anyway through there. And now Lauritsen was a bit slow through John Alweer chicane, and Kilo has taken the lead. He hasn't won a race for quite a long time in the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series.
It hasn't. It's been quite a while. Of course, he had the disqualifications back. You have to jog my memory on that one. I'm not quite sure which race that was. He had the 2 disqualifications.
Most, I think it was.
Most, yeah.
A technical issue. He didn't submit his data, so at most he lost those 2 results.
Absolutely, but Kilo, of course, I remember he started the season with a pretty strong showing at Brands Hatch, and it's carried on. It's a shame he hasn't been really on pace the past couple of races. He's having some rally style through these corners. It's fantastic when he can do it with these front-wheel drive clears. And Talbot's lurking, only 1.5 seconds away from the Kilo as they chuck themselves through the
Getting more aggressive, aren't they?
They are
Talbot's
indeed.
getting closer, and I know this feeling. Race 1 last year, I had I think a 5-second lead over Jesper Torborg with about 5 laps, and they're running very wide their position, guys. They will just end up just gaining penalty points, you know, and that's just absolutely pointless. They just need to calm it down, because otherwise they're just obviously besmirching their reputations with the fans who are watching, and also they're just not going to get those wins in the end because they'll just get them taken away from them. So you just need to just calm it down, otherwise it's going to be pointless. And Torborg's getting closer anyway, with them even running that wide. So it is an interesting situation here.
Yeah, definitely. As you watch the rest of the field of leaders at the moment, I want to give some shout-outs to a few guys down near the end of the top 10 who are doing fantastically. Jimmy Hughes, impressive stuff in 5th position at the moment. Peter Rodriguez doing well in 6th. Jonathan Osterklint up in 7th position. He'll be extremely happy with that if he can pull that one off. Gary Lennon is still 8th right now. Chris Hack is back up to 9th. And Steve Travers 10th position. Great stuff from him. So as I say,
as we go back to this battle, incredible! Look at Hack down the inside.
Oh, that's brave. That was a brave move, but Hack really did just go completely all out on that attack on Osterklint. And Osterklint had to give him room there. So great opportunistic driving from Chris Hack in the pink machine. And now he's straight onto the back of Gary Lennon. It's ice cold versus court. Down towards real radio hairpin. Now is Hack going to try and make a move on the outside? No. Oh, he's dummied him. I think almost down towards the hairpin. Is he going to pull alongside? Yes, he does.
I think maybe Lennon's intervening a bit. Well, we've gone for the cutback. There wasn't the cleanest of passes there from Hack. I thought Lennon was just being a bit more. Oh,
hello.
And there's Cervic off the track there. He's got completely lost. He's rolled over the barrier somewhere and is now trying to find his way back. There is no way back from there, so it's that Cervic out of the race. There you go, a retirement there for Cervic, who at one point was looking at the pole position, ended up qualifying 9th, doing pretty well, but it's all gone wrong for him. And look at Hack's car, actually got quite a bit of damage on the front corner of that, front right corner of the pink core machine. But he has had a strong race so far. He qualified, remember, in the 8th spot, fell back to 13th. He's now back up to 7th. And we're talking about the surprise I said in pre-practice with Steve Travers, and he's carried that forward through to the race as well.
He's actually pressing, he's using a lot.
Very, very hard.
Absolutely. And I have to credit to him, though. He's actually closing in on Osterklint at the moment. The gap between them is 9/10 of a second as they make their way down towards the hairpin once again. And I think the way that Steve's going, he's got plenty of time, man. Another 12 or 13 laps. He could possibly make some more inroads on the top 10 if he's clever about this one. They've just lapped Toby Davis, who's there right behind. That's not a level position. That is Toby a lap down after his incident, where he clipped the barrier at the edge of turn 1. And
here is Jack Keithley. This is a story here. If Jack stays where he is, he's champion. As simple as that. And he's got nobody around him. He's just going around in 12 spots, and he will be champion here. Of course, Torborg's not getting maximum points either, so Jack could drop back even more positions at the moment as it stands. But Jack looks like he's floating serenely to his 4th Touring Pro Series title. And now that's quite incredible, because Jack now has 4 titles, and Jesper Torborg now has 6 after last weekend's Virtual V8 Supercars win. And we've talked about previously how the competition levels in TPS have increased, over the past couple of years. But it's still Jack Keithley and Jesper Torborg who are coming out on top all the time. That just goes to show the strength of both their skill and their mentality, Tom.
It does indeed, and I think to have that many titles to their name shows some dedication to the sport as well. And to not only jump between different vehicles and have titles in different series as well is very impressive. But the competition here, you can't deny it. It is so close. You only have to look into the background of that shot there, and you can see 7 or 8 cars running together in the hairpin. But qualifying really speaks for the competition. Literally half a tenth can really make a big difference, especially around a track like Knockhill.
It really can, and even on other tracks as well. We went to Watkins Glen in the Virtual V8 Supercars. And obviously, we did the full circuit there, so it's a long track, and then ended up being, I think the top 7 were in 3/10 of each other after that. So it was really quite incredible, and we see that constantly, time again in the TPS. And like I say, the competition has increased. The professionality of the drivers and the speed of the drivers has got better and better as Jacobs there runs wide on the entry. Oh, well, hello. Even wider there was Lukasz Demelin through the X's. And it's got closer and closer to the competition, but it's still the same 2 guys who are regularly winning championships, not winning races as much as as they could if you think about the fact that they're champions, but they are still out there winning the championships. Keith this season only has 4 race wins, and there's 20 race championships, so it goes to show that it's not about winning races all the time, because if it was, it would be people like Strana and Kilo and Lauritsen who would be up there, because they've all got lots of wins, but they haven't put together the consistent season. And to be able to do that, right, rFactor, for example, in Virtual V8 Supercars, hasn't put together a consistent season, and Torborg has, and Torborg's reaped the benefits of that. So it goes to show, if you want to win a championship, you've got to be consistent and be up there all the time. You don't have to always go for broke.
And I think Keithley's been ever true to that kind of ethos as well, and he's shown that today in qualifying, where he didn't feel he had a lap in him to put it on the front few rows. He didn't want to start in the mid pack because he knew that was a risk. So again, he's measured out the risks and decided to start from the back with what was a pretty slow lap in qualifying. So he's a very calculated driver, but that takes you to championships.
It does, and he's done all the hard work earlier in the year, and I don't begrudge him for one single moment that qualifying at the back of the field, because he's earned the right to be able to do that throughout the rest of the season. Throughout the previous 18 races, by far and away the most consistent racer throughout the championship, and he's earned the right to be able to take it easy in this penultimate race of the season. Let's go back to the battle for the front of the field though, because I think Lauritsen and Torborg there were very close going into... Oh, and Torborg has hit the wall! Torborg has hit the wall going into the final corner, I believe. Should we see that on replay? Yes, here we go. So Torborg... Oh, it's in it. So we're gonna, after all that, we just get lag after the end. It right up to the when the incident happened. We just got lag. I do apologise for that. The replay system not always reliable, but it seems like Torborg's going for a move, or at least close to Lauritsen. As you can see, it was 0.7 between them both going into that sector, but Torborg has gone into the wall at some point and lost that front end of that car. That won't be helping him. They are only Clios though, and they don't produce a huge amount of downforce from that front bumper, so he may be able to just hang on to the back of these guys here.
I think the biggest issue when you lose the bumpers like that is actually the aerodynamics. These cars aren't slippery single seaters. They have very brick-like aerodynamics as it is. Oh, it was close. And to lose your front bumper there is just going to make it a lot worse. So he needs to stay tucked up behind the 2 cars in front to make sure that they're braking the air for him.
So Strana here has been closing on these leaders hand over fist in the last few laps. It was 3.3 seconds just less than a lap ago. Now it's 2.5. So Strana is really these leaders in. We know what kind of form Strana's been in lately. He's had, I think it's now 7 podiums from the last 9 races, and in that time he's also had 4 wins as well. So it goes to show Strana really is absolutely flying at the moment. His good mate Adrian Holm has taken the last 2 wins in the Virtual V8 Supercars at Sandown and Sydney also as well. So those 2 friends have been hot stuff throughout this summer as the championship come to a close. But look, up ahead, Torborg challenging Lauritsen, so it's really not harming him too much. I think the Precision Motorsport guys are struggling with their tyres, Scott.
Quite possibly. I mean, those guys were going all that aggressively. You can see Talbot has almost got a straight line speed advantage, but you can see that's pretty clever from the 2 Precision guys. Lauritsen just slotting by Keelan on the inside lines to try and grab a toe to Leslie's. And Lauritsen almost put a little too deep, but he's really hugging that inside line. Talbot might have a dive up the inside. Oh, there's contact.
Vicious.
And Talbot was up on 2 wheels and almost tipped that Clio over. That's impressive. And we said these cars are very easy to put onto 2 wheels and onto their roof if you're not too careful. And here's a replay of it. And you see Lauritsen went a little too deep for Leslie's, and Talbot was right there on the back of his car. Talbot made a dive. When, again, I don't think Lauritsen really realised just how far alongside Talbot was. And it's kind of the same situation that Butcher and Munro found themselves. I don't think Munro realised just how much Butcher was alongside into turn 1, which is why he turned across as he did and caused the incident. So,
well, to be fair, I don't see how he couldn't see, to be honest, because Butcher was completely there. He knew he just passed him at the final corner as well. So,
yeah.
I mean, we want to be nice to Munro there, but I'm afraid that was a clear cut. Munro turning in, and it was obviously disastrous consequences in the end. Hughes and Hack here having an incredible battle also as well. Hack has been flying through the field, in fact, and is now looks like he's going to go down the inside. No, he's not, but it looks... Oh, and Hughes is sideways! Was that a tap from Hack? Either way, Hughes did a fantastic job of saving that. That was superb car control. Let's watch that on the replay. That was fantastic stuff. Tom, talk us through this.
I think, as you see, he's lining him up as he comes along a small toe. He makes his move quite late, Oh no, it's that was,
by
he thought that
himself.
was a tap, but it was actually by himself, wasn't it? He looked to be turning in just a little late there, probably because of the distraction of the car behind moving to have a little look. Looked like he turned in a little late, a little aggressive, and just lost the rear end. But beautiful car control. He still got his exit, and here we see him under attack again. No, he's just fallen in behind.
Oh, it's very, very close, this group. And Jonathan Auckland will be loving this. This is the best run I think he's probably ever had in the Touring Pro Series. Just as we go on board with him, Torborg's taken second spot from Lauritsen. Lauritsen has taken it back once again. Lauritsen has taken it back once again. So they're back to second and third. Kilo is loving this because Strana can't quite get past these two battling. And, of course, these two battling is holding up Lauritsen as well.
Yeah, most definitely heading up towards Clarkson once again. I think Tolborg might get a nice little run. If he gets a super little exit from here, he's now lining him up once again with the real radio hairpin, and he has done just that. He's literally, how close do you want it? He's almost literally conjoined himself onto the rear bumper of Lauritsen.
Because he has to make the move now. There's only 3 laps to go at the end of this lap. So he wants to win this race. He has to make the move.
Down towards the hairpin, and again, Lauritsen getting very defensive, but Talbot's not going to stop him, trying to go round the outside. Oh, I don't believe that. That's an incredible move. If Talbot can get the run up the pit straight, and also Strana's going to get the run down on straight line speed in the toe, down the pit straight, down towards the first corner. 3 laps to go now, and Talbot has to slot in behind, but when you make a dive down towards Leslie's, no, has to slot back in.
And it is harming in the straight line.
That
bumper missing it, like Tom was saying, it is harming in a straight line there. He had to, he lost out in that drag race up the hill.
Absolutely, you can see that he got a good run off the corner, but you just couldn't quite see it through all the way past the car.
Well, you would have thought that obviously with no front bumper, that would of course mean it's slightly better aerodynamics because it's less drag on the front. But I think what really you'd be harming him, of course, would be the turning and the wear on the tyres. I would have thought possibly, but if he has cost him that much straight line speed, then that's going to be quite a disadvantage. He has another go down the outside towards Will Radio hairpin. Again, Lauritsen getting very defensive. Strana might fancy look up the inside, but despite his late braking, he's not far enough alongside to try and make a move. He wasn't close enough to try and gain a gap at all, and Talbot now going to the outside once more onto the penultimate lap towards Leslie's again, and Strana's trying to distract Talbot as well as his mirrors, but Talbot's got more pressing issues down towards Leslie's, and Lauritsen again, such a great defensive driver.
Here we go.
The door open down towards the Scotsman, and he's made the move stick back. He got the switch back as Lauritsen. Talbot goes wide onto the grass, and Lauritsen's back through again, side by side into the John Wisher case.
This is looking good for Strana.
And Talbot's gone wide into another shove as well.
Doesn't like that. He did not like that at all, did he?
Didn't like it at all, and Strana's trying to go back up the outside this time. Adam Clark's for the penultimate time, is Strana now having a look at third position. But Lauritsen's now going to try and get past Talbot, but Lauritsen's going to capture into the situation. Does he attack Talbot? Does he defend with Strana? He's going to have to defend down towards the hairpin. Strana with the late braking technique down towards the rear radio hairpin. And is he going to switch back? No, he doesn't, because Lauritsen's covered that line well. Fantastic stuff. We're going on to the final lap though, and it's going to be battle for first, second, third, fourth. But don't forget, 11th place man Jack Keithley, and you're going to keep it around the circuit one more lap, and we'll have a new champion.
We will. We're going to stick with this battle. Kilo looks like he's going to win this race. It's a gap of 2.1 seconds because they've been battling so much. Talbot pushing very hard through that first set of corners. Oh, and contact there. Strana just needs at the back of Lauritsen. Lauritsen just about gathered that up. That was good driving there from Lauritsen, and Strana didn't push the issue as a result afterwards as well. Oh, Lauritsen running right over the edge of the curb there. Bit too generous there with the curb. He could see himself in trouble with the stewards after this race because we've seen quite a bit of that from Alexander Lauritsen. They push it right to the edge of the white line on the exit of Station Ben. But Kilo looks like he's going to win this race. A superb victory from him. He took the lead earlier in the race, around about lap 10 it was when he did so. And finally, one of Tom Onslow-Cole's predictions has come true. Simon Kilo is going to take. He's going to take his 5th win of the season. Simon Kilo takes the win for Precision Motorsports. Jesper Torborg in second, with Lauritsen in third and Strana in fourth. But we're going to go back towards the champion as they all race across the line as well. Hugh's going to take that 5th spot from Hack and 6th. Where is Keithley? Here he is. All he has to do is come around his final corner and just feather it up the hill. He has. Auckland in 9th. Travers with an excellent result in 10th, and Jack Keithley is a Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series champion. Congratulations to him. A superb seasonal performance from the Englishman, and I think we have to say there, Scott, a deserving champion.
Well, I'll tell you something, I was talking to him before and he was so nervous, he knew what was at stake, but I think now all of that nerves and emotion is going to come right out now. I think he's now just, I'm not sure when it's going to sink in exactly what he's just achieved. This is the biggest independent prize in sim racing, and that man on screen right there has achieved it. Massive, massive well done to Jack Keithley. It's been a fantastic season. We've still got one more race to go, remember, but he's worked hard, hasn't finished, apart from this race, outside the top 5, but he's got enough points he needs, and that's it. That is another title for Jack Keithley, and of course, he's going on for that drive, so we'll get the thoughts of him after race 2, of course. But yeah, I think it's safe to say, I speak for everyone, I guess, in the commentary, we say that is a championship well deserved, so well done, Jack.
And Tom, you've been there before. You've won the 2006 Clio Cup UK Championship, and you know what it feels like. How does it feel?
It's an absolutely incredible feeling. The pressure really does mount up. You know, he had a fantastic start to the year and was very consistent from the off. But the pressure he would have been feeling today to really nail home that prize would be huge. So right now it's probably a mix of excitement and relief and reversing donuts.
Reversing donuts for Jack Keithley. He's wiped off the front end of that bumper. It's a good job in sim racing. You don't need to repair your cars because that is a champion right there. Jack Keithley has just secured the biggest championship win of his sim racing career. Probably, I would say, one of the top things he's achieved in his life in general. I'm sure many people wouldn't disagree with that. Congratulations to Jack. We've got qualifying 2 and race 2 coming up after this break. Stick around.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Hello and welcome back to the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. We've got qualifying 2 and race 2 coming up. We've seen the crowning of a new champion here. Jack Keithley, in case you missed it, is the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series champion, and the 4th season of Clios, he's a champion for that. That means he wins a test drive in a Volkswagen Racing Cup cars run by Team Hard, and also tuition from Tom Onslow-Cole. Not sure how much that's worth. It's about 50p, I think. And then he gets a ride alongside Tom Onslow-Cole in a Volkswagen Passat. I mean, the rest of the prices are quite expensive, but the tuition, I think, should be... well, I think Tom should pay Jack, really, the other way around.
You never know. I might learn something myself sat beside him, looking at the pace he's had throughout this series.
He has been, and that's high praise indeed for you there, Jack. So Tom is very impressed by your pace this season so far. So when you watch this back, feel very proud. We are going to go to qualifying 2, however, because we are pressing ahead with the final race of the season. And predictions for pole position here, guys. As David Carter goes with the 57.985, so you can rule him out because that's a little bit down what we expect.
It's really difficult. I'm in a bit of turmoil now. I've been going with Kilo for such a long time, and now finally he's won. I think I should release him from my curse.
From your curse.
New.
And Monroe goes 57.025, and that's some 0.3 of a second slower than he did in qualifying 1. So I don't think that'll be pole position this time around for John Monroe. So he may not get the 3rd in a row. What do you think, Scott? Who do you think will get pole position before they all start setting laps here and you cheat?
Well, shush. I was going to say, usually for race 2, we usually get somewhat of a surprise pole sitter. It's not.
We had that in qualifying 1 instead, didn't we? So
yeah, to be fair,
back to normal, perhaps.
I think I'm going to put my money on Keithley. After the success of winning the championship, I think he's going to be stress-free and very fast.
That's true. Pressure's off, so he can kind of just let loose and just completely go for it. So that's a good point.
I'm on track. I'm just trying to find who's on track at the moment. Sorry, Scott, go on.
I think because he was so quick at the end of race 1, I'm going to plump for Eric Strano, I think, because he looked pretty good at the end of race 1.
Yeah,
and he could possibly bring something.
Yeah, so he's going to do a Snetterton where he didn't run so well in qualifying 1 and had to fight his way through the pack and finished, I think, 7th or 8th in the end at Snetterton. But the second race, he qualified on the front row and went on to win the race. So you think that's going to happen this time around?
Quite possibly. I think if Jack's feeling as relaxed as he probably is right now, amongst all the different kind of emotions that he's feeling after winning such a huge championship, if Keithy doesn't put it on pole, I wouldn't be surprised if he at least puts it second on the front row.
Okay, so we've got a 1-2 prediction there for from Scott. That's ambitious.
Yeah, ambitious.
But will it be rubbish?
Gear, as I say, it probably is going to be, as I say, in top gear, ambitious but rubbish. I thought. Usually.
So we're watching Nick Hughes here. He's driving for Smile Power Surreal Illusions, and he's fastest so far, faster than John Monroe. So he's shown spurts of speed throughout this season. His brother also races in this championship, and he was ahead of his brother earlier in the season. But Jimmy has got stronger and stronger throughout the year, and Nick just about, I think, they're kept within the track boundaries. You are able to use all of the curb as long as you're back on track. By the time the curb ends and you're inside those white lines, and he's still up his Nick Hughes at the moment. So Nick looking for a good run.
Oh no!
Put the curse on him. He's gone wide into the gravel, and that's going to cost him at least half a second. I'm just going to just shut my mouth the rest of this. But his brother's doing well though. Let's stick with him instead.
I'll tell you something else. Look, he's popped into 3rd position. Jonathan Osserklin. Fantastic time as well. Look at that.
Again. So 57.066. If he was just a 10th quicker, he would be on pole position right now. So I'm sure he would still be pleased with that. So Nick Hughes ended up losing actually 0.8 of a second in that mistake, as Jimmy Hughes looks very quick into there, in fact, actually. Looks slightly out of control, but then it hooked up on the camber and looked like a great exit, in fact. So Jimmy was quicker than Toby Davis going towards Sector 2. Will he be quicker as they come over the line? Jimmy's time, yes, 6.949, so he's quicker so far. He qualified well in the first race as well. So could this be pole position for him? Going to have a bit of luck, though, I think. Other drivers are out on track. Jesper Tolborg is quicker than him at the moment.
I can also see Eric Strana's out on there. Talbot does go quick. He's 56.936, excuse me. I can see that Eric Strana is out on track. My tip for pole position. He's not setting a time just yet, but he's currently 17th on the timing board, as I think Talbot just popped off into the gravel so he can then escape back to the pits. A few more times coming in.
Jack Keithley has Gary Lennon behind him, I think. Gary's finished his lap, so there's not going to have any hassle there, so that's good.
Absolutely. In fact, I can see Pepe Rodriguez. I can see on my screen he's popping out into the pits now to start his lap time. But whereabouts is Strana? Strana's 17th in the times. Of course, he's the second man not set a time just yet. We'll have to see exactly where he is. Chris Butcher's out on track too, as is Scott Sovic. And now we watch as James Fellows is down by almost 0.6 of a second. This is certainly not going to be pole position.
It could be right in the middle of the pack. It could be around about Demelin area. I was going to say Tomasz Demelin area, but both Demelins are in the same position, so he could be splitting those two. Both those are they're cousins, by the way. The Demelin boys. They're not. He does split them. Just gets ahead of Wukash. They're cousins, not brothers. For those who are a little bit confused by that, Tomasz is I think slightly younger than Wukash.
And where's Strana popped? I think Strana's just popped up into the time somewhere, but where's
he
he got to?
Where did he go?
Scrolled.
Fourth.
And
And Hackey's on pole at the moment. We've missed Chris Hackey on a pole. Fantastic stuff from Chris. That's a superb pole position at the moment, and that will be a very popular pole position as well, wouldn't it, Scott?
Oh, absolutely. He's usually known for running all things pink on his car, so that's a great stuff. And again, it's another surprise pole set. Not the one I predicted, but again, it's this second race.
Has he had a pole this season, Chris Hack? I don't think he has he?
I don't think he had, no. So that's incredible, the fact that he's... Again, the second qualifying session produces a surprise pole sitter. It's staggering to see how that happens. Of course, John was on pole in race 1, of course. It's good to see him up there, but... Again, it's drivers like that who, to be fair, we don't expect them to be on pole position, but they just pull out these fantastic laps from nowhere, and it's 9 times out of 10 in this second session. I don't know what it is about this qualifying session that produces such unexpected qualifying results.
And Chris qualified second in the first race and is heading for second at the moment. Pepe Rodriguez is faster going to the final sector. Hack has never had a TPS pole in his career, so he's going for his first one here. Will it be heartbreak for him? What can Pepe Rodriguez do? He's coming now, going to come across the line. He's purple into the second sector. What will it be? No, he's second by
good time, though.
0.04 of a second. It's still a good time. He's right up there, and he'll be hoping he doesn't make the same mistake as he did in the first race. Salo out on track. Lauritsen, Kilo, Keithley, and Jacobs all out on track. Who's further around the track, and who's going to start their lap first? It looks to me like it's going to be Jacobs, isn't it? Jacobs is at the final corner, so we'll stick with him for now. Jacobs likes to go out late, doesn't he? We see this time and again. He likes the airtime, it seems.
Compared to Toby Davis, he always is one of the first ones to go out and set his lap time very, very early.
Yeah, he believes in the philosophy of getting, just keeping yourself in the rhythm. So going out, just you practice right to the end, don't you? So then you just go straight out into qualifying and carry on once again.
That does make sense. It does, obviously, to keep yourself fresh rather than waiting and kind of lose the groove by sitting in the pits all the time. But other drivers seem to believe that if they go out later, that it means they've got a track that's slightly more rubbered in. You can see that Jacobs kind of rally crossing over the curves and almost 4/10 down. But Kilo is up by a whopping 1/4 of a second. Kilo, where has that come from? And Lauritz is up. So all three of the precision guys out there are all up on the pole time currently. Chris Hack.
So it's a three-pronged attack, and he looks very tidy through there, doesn't he?
He does. And Kilo looks to be the one who's actually going to be trump everyone. So this is going to be a fantastic time if he can keep it together. As he found more time, he has almost by 4/10.
What on earth is Salo taking? He's put rocket fuel in that car.
Kilo, I mean, not Salo.
Oh, sorry, yes, Kilo. I apologize.
But here he comes then.
Whatever, he has put rocket fuel in that car, hasn't he?
Here he comes up towards the line. Is he going to be pole? Is it going to be how much? 56.2, almost half a second.
What on earth did he do? Did he miss a corner? That's incredible. As Keithley goes across the line in 10th, we can find out. So I think Tom should have stuck with Kilo, to be honest, with his predictions, because he's way back. And Lauritsen's in 17th.
It's worked.
So
It's worked.
I think this just shows you what he can do when I don't put the commentator's curse on him.
He'd be even quicker.
And by that much, it seems, which is fantastic.
That's incredible lap time
on a track like this.
That
really is incredible.
And poor Chris Hack won't get that pole position that he so craves. I'm just wondering whether Kilo ran wide at turn 1 and cut across turn 2 or something. I've got no idea how he set that time. But of course, he was only 2 tenths up in the first sector, then he took another 2 tenths in the second sector, and that was clean from what we saw. So, congratulations to Simon Kilo. That's the reason why we're debating it is because it's an absolutely incredulous lap time. It really is a fantastic lap there from Simon Kilo. Congratulations to him. And it's another pole position for Precision Motorsports here today. Monroe in the first race. So it's Kilo, Hack, Rodriguez, Butcher, and Torborg, the top 5. We're right back with a little bit of discussion ahead of warm-up and the second race in just a few moments.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number 1 on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Hello and welcome back to the final race of the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series season. This is race 20, round 10 at Knockhill, and this will be it for 2013 with the Clios. And we have a massive story in this final qualifying session of the season, Scott.
We do, and the story is that by some margin, we still can't say as to how he's done it, but Simon Kilo has set pole position by almost half a second, and we just can't figure out how he's done that. Of course, we'll have to ask him in the post-race interviews later on. But Kilo takes pole then from Chris Hack, who still I think will definitely be pleased with second place on the grid. He could definitely get himself an excellent result if he gets himself a good start. Road to Pepe Rodriguez, again, very, very impressive to see him up the front. He's always been getting quicker and quicker in these Clios. To see him up there on row 2 is absolutely amazing. 4th is Chris Butcher, still showing pace from the first qualifying session in the first race. Jesper Tarborg is 5th, with Jimmy Hughes alongside him in 6th. Again, very pleased with that qualifying result. 7th, Eric Strana, my pick for pole. That went for a Burton. 8th was Toby Davis, so he's up there as well. And then John Monroe, the pole position for race 1, down in 9th, but he has got our brand new champion, Jack Keating, joining for company. This time in the more, I guess compared to his first qualifying result, the dizzying heights of 10th rather than 26th at the back of the grid. Jonathan Osterklint, 11th on the grid. Again, good result for him in qualifying. Jasper Salo, much better than race 1. 12th on the grid on row 6. Row 7 is going to be Matt Richards and Steve Travers. And then row 8, Robert Powell and Gary Lennon for Ice Cold in 16th. Thomas Devlin in 17th. Alexander Lauritsen down in 18th. So I've no idea what happened on his qualifying lap at all. But he's obviously been bulk bust from traffic or made a huge mistake. He has Thomas Jacobs and James Fellows for company behind him on row 10. Row 11 is Jay Adji and David Carter. And then near the back of the grid, it's Cameron Brewster and all by himself, 26th and last on the grid, Scott Sovic for Optimus Sim Racing. So that is our grid for the final Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series event here at Knockhill. And I think it's safe to say, boys, that I wouldn't put it past these guys to pretty much go all out in order just to have some fun today, this last race.
Well, we've seen what kind of mayhem they can produce when something is on the line and they're being restrained, Tom. What do you reckon is going to happen here in the final race?
I think, as we said about offline, the first race was a great race, a great balance between some controlled aggression, some plain aggression, and some great racing. So last round of the year, if there's any debts to settle, I guess they're going to be settled now. But this is going to be a spectacular race to see for sure.
It is, and we're going to be right here watching it with you. Of course, there will be a driver of the day at the end of this event, Tom, and I'm sure you're thinking about who that might be. At the moment, it's definitely Simon Kilo who's driver of the day, isn't it? He's won that first race, taken pole position by the proverbial country mile in qualifying 2, so he could be winning that Team OC hat, and it's more postage cost for you, Tom, poor Tom, because he has to send that to Denmark.
Yeah,
what's a British winner, please?
Please, that would be much nicer. But no, that's okay. He has done a fantastic job so far today, and I think actually someone's going to have to go a long, long way to try and better what he's done in the 3 sessions so far. So let's wait and see what happens, see how it plays out. I think
So
maybe
Chris-
we should put a bet on to see how many cars finish this race. This will be interesting.
Oh, should we have a quick sweepstake? I'm going to bet
Oh.
50p that only 16 people finish. What do you think, Scott?
Me?
Yes.
Let's have a think.
No other Scott in this room, is there?
I'm going to go 14. 14 cars left for the end of this race.
How much are you betting, though? How confident are you?
I'll go 50p as well.
50p as well.
Yeah.
What do you reckon,
I
Tom?
can't afford the 50p with this foreign postage stuff. But
You can, 'cause that's what
I'm going to go
Jack's
with
giving you for
less
your
than 14.
tuition.
Less than 14.
Less than
No,
14?
it's
Ooh.
only because race drivers don't carry cash. It's a known fact. So.
Well, Jack's going to give you 50p for your tuition, Tom, so you have 50p then, so... No,
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
Right, we are going to go into the race now. There is a formation lap to come, and the drivers will just be gridding up for this race. Predictions for this race, it sounds like yourself, Tom, going to plump for Kilo again.
Am I allowed to change now? Because I absolutely would with a qualifying time like that.
Yeah, you can change.
Yeah, why not? I think I will. Yeah, I've backed him for a few races, and he definitely seems to be coming good. He had a little bit of bad luck at Silverstone, but I think he can do the job here if he can reproduce any of those lap times from qualifying.
And Scott?
I'm going to be a cop-out and just go the same as Tom. I think Kilo's pace in the qualifying was just absolutely amazing. To take the pole by almost half a second on a circuit like this is just mind-blowing. So, and he showed tenacity to win race 1 and keep his head while everyone behind him, those of which Chris Butcher and John Monroe lost theirs. And yeah, I think Kilo, I really can't look past him, if I'm being genuinely honest, for the second race victory to round out what has been a genuinely fantastic season.
It has been superb to watch all season long. I think everybody would agree that we've not had many dull races at all, and Kilo's leading us away. There's a lag in the background, in the foreground there, apologies for that. But Kilo leading around the track now. My head says Kilo, my heart says Hack or Rodriguez, because they've been up there so many times this season so far, fighting to get into that top 5, and now they're second and third on the grid. Hack has never won a race before in the TPS or had that pole position because it was cruelly snatched away by a brilliant lap from Kilo. I'm sure he won't begrudge Kilo that, to be honest, because it was a stunning lap. He's going to have your first pole taken away from you. He may as well be taken away from you in style like that. Chris Hack, closest he's come, he finished second at Oldring. In the same race where Monroe was challenging for that win, it was Hack who picked up the pieces and came second at Oldring. That's the closest he's come to a TPS victory. Rodriguez has run pretty well all season. We see him always make a small mistake in the race though, and it always sets him back a couple of positions, and he has to fight back through once again. So he needs to eliminate those if he's going to take a victory here today, one would imagine. So the front of the field is now formed up. The back of the field is doing likewise. Back to the front of the field. The lights are on. There you are. 4 lights are on. And the green lights are on. Away we are for the final race of the season. And it's a good start there from Kilo, and a good start from Hack, and it's a good start from everybody. Not seem to just slot in line, and always a bit of argy-bargy coming down towards the first corner there though. Kilo, Hack, Rodriguez, Torborg, Hughes, Strana, Davis. Butcher's gone way back, so that's who's dropped way back at the moment. David Butcher was in 4th on the grid, and now he's back to 8th and being pushed around at the moment by Jack Keith, the new champion, and John Monroe. They head through John O'Weir chicane for the first time.
It's a very clean race through, certainly cleaner than we probably expected. I think we expected some kind of first lap incident, but there's still time for it to happen. Through Clark's corner and up towards the hedge to set him for the first time. Once again, boys, brace yourselves to get Messi down towards the hairpin, and down towards it they come. And it is still Kilo getting defensive, Hack still second, and Rodriguez third. But it's down the back in the midfield where it could get messy as they handle the brakes. But so far they're all pretty clear. I'm slightly disappointed. I expected some fireworks down towards the hairpin, but seem to have all be behaving themselves rather than getting a bit crazy. So look at that, that's Monroe dropping back as he's right on the ground.
Oh, what's happened here? Is he going to pits?
Is he
jumped the start at some point?
Did that have some damage somewhere?
He must have jumped the start. It's going straight through, isn't he? It seems at the moment. He must have jumped the start. There's someone behind him as well. Like Nick Hughes perhaps who had damage, but Monroe has jumped the start here, so I think that's what's happened. He's gone straight to the pits to serve that penalty, the drive through, and he did that last season, you know. He did that last season at this track, so he's familiar with going through those pits, unfortunately for him.
Most definitely. Heading out of Clark's corner once again, and the order still remains the same at the top 5. Kilos has a 0.6 per second advantage over Hack. Now towards the real radio hairpin once again. And the overtaking moves, they all start to spread out now, but look at that, it's some very defensive moves from
And Travers right there again.
And Travers,
Lawrence moved up to 12 from 18th on the grid. He's now in 11th as well as he challenges Travers going up the hill. And talking of challenging, Kilo has Hack right there for company, and we know as well that Hack is better in the second half of the race. He's had a poor start to the race in the first race, dropped back to 13th, fought his way all the way back to finish in 5th spot. It's a great effort from him, and we know he comes better in the second half of the races. So if he's this close early on, and it's still kind of the same gap as when we get to lap 10, look out for Hack to be a serious factor in winning this race.
Absolutely. Getting into Clark's corner once again, and if Hack is this close, of course, then imagine what Keelop could do in the second half of the race, because he kind of eased away with a couple of second advantage by the end of the race. That's purely, I think, only the fact that Lauritsen and Talbot were battling so hard. Speaking of Talbot, here he comes to the outside of Rodriguez, down towards the hairpin. Can he make it stick around the outside? I wouldn't put it past him. But the Portuguese driver is just holding on for the moment and squeezing him onto the grass. And he had to force Talbot out of there. The virtual bit supercar for this season. He's
and last season.
Finding out and last season. And 4 other championships before that. He's finding out that Pico Rodriguez is no pushover, although
Rodriguez
lock up.
That's that mistake to talk about.
Just holds on, and Double will he dive again up the inside into Scotsman's corner? No, he doesn't. So great stuff so far through Butchers.
There goes one of the marker boards. Somebody's run over that.
Into John Woodwiss chicane, huge big red anti-cut curves they go across.
Oh, they're way wide as well.
Dust.
Rodriguez there, flirting with danger, isn't he?
I'm surprised that anyone else could see the little dust he was kicking up there. So it's more like a sandstorm rather than dust in front of him. Jesus Christ. As they head up towards the hairpin once again for the 4th time. And
oh, hello.
Cars going sideways.
That looks like a tasty battle. Looks like a very tasty battle indeed.
Butcher
and Morrison. Oh, I know he's supposed to leave one car with, but that was turning right to the limit.
That's borderline for Chris Butcher. Oh,
contact the back.
Leonard hits Travers. Leonard hits Travers.
There we go. He's
going to get in there as well.
Here we go. It's funny games here today.
Kicking off now. It's kicking off now. It's end of season term time. This is their version of kind of an end of season party, pretty much. Come on, boys, all out. To hell with rules. Let's just go.
Someone will get the orange hairspray out in a minute and start playing everybody.
Absolutely. And heading in towards the bend once again, and they've all calmed down again now. Come on, boys, a bit more action.
I don't think it's going to last much longer, this calmness, to be honest.
I don't think so.
And Travers with a great run there through the chicane as well. And it's Leonard's under pressure here from Auckland, and Auckland is under pressure here from Jacobs. Right up the back of him. As Powell heads through there also. There's also a couple of cars off the back of this battle who could find themselves tacking onto this if they just run line astern and take advantage of what's battling here. As Kilo and Rodriguez and Torborg, should I say, battling once again into the hairpin. We just saw them on the timing swap positions for just a split second. It seems like they're all top 6, should I say, all quite close at the moment, all running very quickly indeed. It might look like they're taking it easy, but they're really not. They're all pushing incredibly hard, and the reason no one's making massive moves at the moment is because they're all so quick, they're all so well matched. As Hughes is just having a bit of a lonely race at the moment, back in 7th, but Lauritsen, story of the race so far, 18th to 8th.
Great movement so far, Bill. We've seen plenty of drives throughout the season. We've seen guys charging up from the back of the field towards the front. As Keithy, the brand new champion, is enjoying himself now, but he's got Butcher off there, and someone's on the back. There's that Lennon off the back on the grass, I think it is. And now Butcher has to really back off through Clark's corner, as now he's put Travers, who's using all the track and a lot more.
He lost time there, did Travers, because he ran so wide in the end. It didn't benefit him at all that time. And Rodriguez again and Torborg at the final corner again, and now Torborg with a huge pressure.
Strana flying the toe, fantastic toe in fact, super little exit from the real radio hairpin, pulling alongside Talbot, and Toby Davis might come with him. He's on a prime seat to get the popcorn out and watch the fireworks fly between these two. And Talbot just holds on, and Davis taking another curve and a bit more through the exit there, and I think Davis trying to force him out the inside, took a bit of curve through the Scotsman's corner, and now as they head up towards the John Irish chicane, once more again clattering over those curves.
Strana's can't get out of shape there, didn't land very well. He didn't land very well as he came through turn 4 through Scotland and out towards the John Irish chicane. Didn't land very, didn't set itself. And they ended up understeer on the exit as a result. He has caught it all back up once again, pretty much to go to Station Bend. So looks like Strana has the legs of Torborg. It looks like Torborg has the legs of Rodriguez.
All bunch up once again at the hairpin, but Kiel still has the advantage up at the front, I'm seeing, by almost 9/10 of a second. So Hack's doing very well indeed to keep him in his, just about in his sights. There's a car stopped in the pits now. Who is that? So I was not sure, that might be Nick Hughes in fact, because it looked like it was that colour car. So Nick Hughes probably having a bit of a tricky time at the moment. He saw his car stopped in the pits. Westerfield sweeps past. There goes Keithy and Butcher and Jacobs and Lennon and Ossifant as well.
And we've lost Powell and Brewster, look. Lost Powell. I think Hughes has come back. It was the second time he's been in the pits today, I think. So Powell and Brewster.
Travers has dropped down.
Hughes,
Travers 21st.
He has. Oh, that's disaster for Travers, who's going so well, wasn't he? And oh, hello.
Where's he gone? I think he's had enough. He's trying to go home.
That's the public car park. He's had enough. Not
He's
sure where.
blocking for my sponsors.
This
He's
is a bit
off.
farcical
He's
for Paul
done.
Travers. Sorry,
He's done a
Tom.
Raikkonen. He's done a
leaving.
Raikkonen and trying to go home.
Yeah, he's off.
Oh, that's
Oh,
it.
there we
And
go.
he's doing an endo.
And he's also now off the track. He'll never find his way back from there, and that's the end of the race for poor Steve Travers. Not sure how on earth he's found himself out there. Let's try and find out. This will be interesting.
This
Hello.
could be a
I can't
chicane
fathom that.
moment.
Oh, it goes further than that.
Oh,
I do it.
It does, and we're not going to see the rest of it, unfortunately. But it must be a chicane moment. He's rolled it, hasn't it? The chicane gone straight across the
We
arm
saw
cone
Scott
there,
Sobek do that, didn't he? On the exit of the hairpin, he somehow found himself riding the. Almost.
And there's nowhere to go
riding
once you
along the
disappear
barrier.
there, of course.
Yeah,
and,
indeed.
and it kind of slopes down towards as well. So if you hit the bump a bit too difficult, then you just kind of bounce over the arm cone. It's not very high compared to where you hit on the grass. So poor Steve Travers is doing so well. And the end of season is a kind of comedy for him, unfortunately. Not the kind of comedy he wanted, though. As we see, Rodriguez has made a mistake. Look, he has lost the front end of his car, and he's also lost himself 2 positions, maybe 3, as Strana tries to get the run off the corner, and does. But again, Rodriguez, very uncompromising, not leaving space on the exit. May find himself in a little bit of trouble there. Keep doing that. But it means Hughes is now caught to the back of that battle as well. Lawrenson is lapping a little bit faster than the leader, which means that he'll catch up to that group sooner rather than later. And Keithley has Butcher right behind him as well, while Jacobs has got himself ahead of this group. This very tasty group indeed. Oh, and contact, careful Jonathan. There was contact earlier in the first race from him there, and he played it very safely in the end. Fellows is right there in 14th as well.
Oh, goodness. It
Down to 21 runners at the moment.
makes you wince every time these guys get together and get that close. But it makes for great racing, which is fantastic. And what I did see quickly on the timing between first and second, I did see Hacker closed in just a little bit, but he really has to close in for that 0.2. So maybe he's look at that, but there he is.
You don't need to get the timing screen for that. You can measure it with your own eyes. And Kilo is also trying to break the slipstream as well. Hack isn't bothered at all. I'm going to stay out here and I'll just keep myself under concentration, thank you.
And Tolbo's coming with him. And Davis gets the fast lap for the race. 56.5. That's 3/10 quick. That's quicker than second place on the grid in qualifying.
Yep, 2 tenths quicker than Hack managed. So he's going very quickly indeed in this race. And here's the sort of Super Pole that is a piece of bumper bodywork that's flying across the track. Oh, and Hack, the bad landing there, just about recovered it. Well to recover that, in fact. Often Super Pole is not the quickest they can go. I mean, Kilo begs to differ on that. But Super Bowl is 1 lap, of course. It's difficult to warm up with tyres. But for Davis to be doing this 56.5 on the 11th lap of the race, he'll be very pleased with that. It means he took 6/10 of a second as well out of Kilo on that lap. So the gap is down to just 2.5 seconds to Toby Davis. So he's not out of this race at the moment. Neither, of course, is Jesper Torborg. I'm not sure I envy Hack's position at the moment. He's got Kilo ahead of him, who we know is quick. We've got Torborg behind him, who we know is quick.
And Davis behind him, who we know is quick as well. So Hack's probably feeling a little bit nervous here, but I think he's better than that to probably try and let them get the better of him. So he's doing an incredibly good job to stay with them. And Kilo almost sideways. And again, that's the way you catch the slide in these cars. Plant the throttle and just counter steer like hell. And he just managed to gather up as Hughes is exited the pits, you can see on the screen. But Hack must be sensing he could possibly smell blood, because I think Kilo made that mistake. And maybe Kilov's just pushing a little too hard. That could cost him in the end. But now, down towards the hairpin, Jack Hack with a bit of a toe. Not getting that much closer. Down towards the hairpin again. Just darts out to give Kilov a little something to think about under braking.
And Tom,
once again.
How did you feel when you were challenging for your first BTCC victory? Did the pressure and the fact that I could win this race, get to you? How were you thinking at the time?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, when I came into British touring cars, it was my lifelong dream that I'd kind of fulfilled. And to be up there racing against some of the names that that are now just my friends, they were my heroes at the time, and it was really odd to be racing against the people that you'd kind of idolised. And I've never been, as I led races or led my first race, I've never been so nervous in my life to make a mistake. But I remember one of the first podium I ever got, and sitting there under the safety car in third position with, I think it was Plato behind me and Matt Neal in front of me, thinking like, this is amazing. And my heart must have been doing 180 beats per minute, and we weren't even really driving.
And I'm sure Hack will be feeling a little bit like that at the moment, because he's got, kind of his heroes around him, people he will look up to. I mean, it's only video games after all, but these are highly skilled individuals that he's right in the middle of. Himself, of course, is highly skilled, but these are all multiple TPS race winners. Davis is a champion. Kilo has won many races in the Touring Pro Series and in other series across sim racing. Torbo, of course, is a multiple champion, and Hack is right in the middle of this right now, and he will be absolutely loving it.
Most definitely. Up through the John Iron Wish chicane once again. And Hack is
brilliant to watch them land there, isn't it? Like, as you keep saying, that sometimes the car just doesn't quite land right, and it's actually like that to drive. No matter how many times you drive through there, the car never lands the same twice, and you can really see that on the exit. Sometimes they're all over the grass, sometimes just the curb, and sometimes they're even a little shy of the line.
Well, it's that.
And Hack. Oh, he's very deep in there. He's got very good at brakes, and look at that for an exit as well. It's really worked well for him. But I remember last season. Sorry to interrupt there, Scott. But just quickly, the point is that last season I was here in the old Clio, 2008 Clios, and as you say, it was even more difficult than it is at the moment to predict how the car would land through there. You really had to be quite conservative and just be very accurate through there. With these cars, it's a little bit more, a little bit easier to predict how the car's going to land. But as Tom says, it's still difficult because those curves through there are very high still.
And I think what you say there is it's a prediction, it's a guess, and you have to kind of take your best guess at it and then deal with it as it lands.
I think it was always that perennial shot with the BTCC. We see the cars at Knockhill, and as I said earlier on, the cars, it's a static shot, and the cars fly over the end of that chicane. You see they're just literally nose to tail one after the other. Because I think it's one of the most endearing shots of touring cars you can ever see. Is you see Talbot tries to move up the inside of the head, and again wasn't close enough to stand on the brakes to make sure he didn't go straight on.
That was good driving there from Hack, because Talbot had a look, and Hack realised it, and Hack braked the apex instead of taking the wider line, just to discourage Jesper from making that move. And that was intelligent driving there from Hack. Let's go back through the field though. We're fourth and fifth.
Hello.
Fifth and sixth, should I say? And and Strana right around the outside. And Rodriguez somehow is holding on to that position at the moment. Lauritsen is right there as well. He's been lapping faster than the leader, and he'll want to dispense with this group of these two cars as quickly as possible, I'm sure. But Strana must be getting ever more annoyed, because he's got the pace to win this race if it wasn't for the fact he was stuck behind Rodriguez.
That's definitely true, and I think Rodriguez did very well to hold his line, because Strana tried to move around the outside, and I think Pipo has just simply held onto his racing line and allowed Strana to kind of make his own mistake, and that was what forced him across the grass. So really, Pipo, if there was any kind of inquiry, people will argue, well, I have the racing line, my car was in front, it was my corner. Strana tried to move around the outside and take it from me, but in all fairness, I stood my ground. So I think really, I can't really see anything that Pipo did wrong there, to be honest, if there's any dispute as to whether he did or not. But I think he did pretty well to try and hold on that position anyway. Looking here, we've got 8th position Jack Keithley with a bit of a stoved-in rear end of some sort. I think a head tap from somebody.
Well, he's also got a stoved-in driver door as well, as you can see there on the left-hand side of his car.
Oh dear.
And we were talking about how he might have a bit of fun here. I think some other people have been having fun with his car.
I think they've said it's right, he's the champion, lynch him. That's exactly
yeah, absolutely. He's won the championship now we can race him properly. We've been nice to all season. Now this is what we can do. Oh, and in the background there, Ottercliffe making a move on Fellows out of the chicane. And that's a classic Knockhill move. And he's made a stick. Oh, and Butcher there having to run wide as he's right in behind Thomas Jacobs. And Fellows, and now he's back to 13th. I've seen these positions swapping backwards and forwards while we've been talking about leaders. And Monroe's out. Monroe out of the race, and Hughes as well is way back. We missed that earlier on. Not sure what happened to Hughes, but he's had to come to the pit at some point because he's way, way back. And now that Ockham has sealed the deal, it seems now, and they've got Cervic for company as well. So we're down to 19 runners at the moment, getting very, very close to our predictions. The Devlin brothers are keeping going. Hughes obviously had an issue at some point, had to come into the pits. Nick Hughes also had an issue earlier, and he has retired from this race, and as did, of course, Travers, who went off on his travels, and Robert Powell and Cameron Brewster early on as well. So those poor guys went very, very wide there, fellows. It's not going to help him at all. Straight on he goes. Now he's under pressure from Cervic, who pulls out to have a look. Not going to happen this time around.
Oh, sorry, Ryan, back to the front because Cat's got a super little exit out of there, and he's pulling alongside Keelan on the pit straight. This is going to lead the race to the final one.
Keelan looks like he's got a problem, you know. His brake lights keep flickering out earlier in the race. Is that what's delaying him down the straight? Well, that's dicey through there, and now it's a four-way fight for the lead. Kilo is going to have to fight for his life.
And look at the two THR guys behind, they're side by side almost, and Talbot just holding off from Toby. But look at how much push is putting Keelan under pressure as Toby goes slightly wide. What a fantastic final scrap we've got as we head towards the final 10 laps of this Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series season.
Just look ahead here, Scott. If the brake lights are flickering on Kilo's, can't quite see actually because Hack's come across the cover.
I did actually notice that. Yeah. You reckon possibly that's a problem with the brake pedal possibly?
It's not happened on this lap, has it? But it was happening just a minute ago, and on the straight.
On the
outside. Hello, Jesper. Not going to happen. But Jesper making his presence very known indeed. And Kilo is in the same situation as he was in race 1. The drivers behind, the 2 or 3 drivers behind, were battling, and he was leading, able to pull away. Is he able to make it happen again?
And I've said it so many times, the harder these guys fight each other behind us, the easier it is for the cars around to take advantage of that, and that's exactly the situation we've got now. As Talbot dives to the inside, and Hack gives him room.
He likes that move, doesn't he?
He
likes that move, but I've not seen it work yet.
Hasn't worked just yet, up towards the chicane once again. He's going to get a better exit. Tack took a bit more curb on the inside there, which helped him with the run down towards Clark's. And he's just trying to reel into Kilo a little bit more now. And now we're on board looking at the fantastic interior camera now, looking forwards at Chris Hack, the black and pink machine with the Lenovo sponsorship, and down towards the hairpin once again, and to end lap 20. And again, Hack gets very defensive, and Talbot's going to try that outside run again. Oh, and Hack
Hack has tapped the back of Kilo, I think, there. That was a small tap. If not, it was extremely close.
I think he just missed him. And again, you see Kilo going very defensive because you can sense that Hack is right there. He's very, very close indeed. So Kilo again just making sure he's covered the outside line to try and discourage. We're back to the outside to get the racing line towards Leslie's. Someone with Davis now watching on. And he's in a prime position here because he thinks if these three come together, he can just go sail straight through. He grabs up a victory. The following race is Talbot clips the inside curb, goes wide. This will allow Davis up the inside, and I think Talbot will have to yield. Yes, he does. So Keelov over the curves once again, and Hacken. Davis has run straight on again over that curve. Too much through John Weir chicane. And
that was a result of his compromised entry, wasn't it? Because he was squeezed, obviously going past Jesper Torborg, and he had a poor entry, and that meant a poor exit as well. And they've lost lots of ground as a result to Hack and Kilo ahead. And Hack straight on the back of Kilo once again. So Hack looks like he's got the pace to win this race. Can he make it happen though? It's so difficult to pass around here and so easy to defend, as we've seen so many times.
And what was intriguing is that you saw there, Monroe's Kilo's brake lights flickered on right as he started exiting the corner. So obviously, if there is a brake pedal problem, it would have hampered him. But this battle on 5th position, Rodriguez with a completely damaged front end from Larratt's in the man on the move, looking for a top 5 finish from back in the pack in 18th position. He's going to be brave enough down the outside. He might be. He's going to try, you know, around the outside, contact with the two of them, and somehow Larratt's has kept it in there. Rodriguez is having absolutely none of it, and look at Strada getting involved as well. Fantastic racing with only just about 8 laps to go. We said it was going to be an absolute fracas at the front, but it really is.
I cannot believe that Lawson made that move stick, and he's out of shape through the chicane as well. Rodriguez is held up. Strada's weaving all around, trying to look for a move. Rodriguez has gone too fast into the entry of the corner there, has hit the back of Lauritsen, just tapped the back of him, that's held him up, and now here comes Strada, and he's got the slipstream, of course, of Lauritsen, and could break really deep here. What will Rodriguez do? He might spear into the back of Lauritsen. He's hit Strada, and that means that Strada has finally taken that position, but poor Strada's got past Rodriguez finally, but Lawrence has got past him before he was able to make that happen. Back to the front of the field though, and this is the situation at the front.
I can tell you for one thing, whilst we're watching, that Davis did actually get past Talborg at the hairpin, so that's a change from 3rd position. once again between the two
They must have
orange
swapped once
guys.
again because
Yeah, they did.
remember Davis got past Torborg again right this chicane.
It was at the hairpin. He managed to make it. I managed to catch it just on my feed here at the moment, but heading towards the end of the race, and
7 laps to go.
absolutely.
Hack here
Fantastic
is
battling so
7
far.
laps away and 1 move away from glory. Can he make it happen? This was a big achievement. Chris Hack, and know how hard he's worked to try and get this elusive Touring Pro Series win. They're not easy to come by at all. Eric Strana tried for so long. I think Strana's making a mistake, you know, because it means Rodriguez has gone back past him. Where is Strana?
No, Strana hasn't got back past him.
We've just missed a timing loop. That's all that's happened here, and now Strana will cross the line and it resets itself. So back towards the front of the field.
Hack doing everything he can to try and hold off at the moment, trying to pressure. And Tom, I want to get your thoughts on this one, because of course Hack is having to really try and defend here. But what do you suppose that Hack has left here? He's got another 6 laps to go to try and get past. If he can't get past him on pure pace, he's just hoping to try and pressure Kilo into a mistake. Does he try and make a move in the last couple of laps?
I think he does have the pace, though. This is the thing. Every time Kilo gets a gap, he seems to be able to close it down quite quickly. And I think what he's done here, maybe not purposely, is actually backed it up more than he had done before. Before it was always around 6 or 7 tenths. Now he seems to have a bit of a gap to third, so he can chase down Kilov and actually make a bit more of a planned attack on him without having to worry about defending from the cars behind. This could be a tactic that really works for him.
And you can also see as well, we noticed that Kilo's not comfortable holding the outside line of the race line, so he always sweeps to the inside to try and cover it. So do you think even if he is in front, he feels he has got the pace to lead, he's still very wary of the fact that Hack is there and he could attack at any time? Do you think that's the case?
I think he is apparent that the pace of Hack is just as strong, if not stronger, than his own. And when you're sat in a slipstream around such a tight track like this, it's often a little more comfortable to be following rather than leading. And I think also, Kilov wants his win. We've seen him race extremely hard for outright results before. And I think as soon as he gets close, he wants to cover his line. Even if he's not quite close enough, he wants to double check and make sure he's not going to lose that position.
And Hack is getting closer and closer and closer. But every time Hack gets closer and closer, he brings the 2 THR boys with him. So it's going to have to be a very purposeful and premeditated move, I believe. Third move is what we're looking for, I think, from Chris Hack, because if he makes a bit of a wishy-washy move, it's a 30% 50 or a 50-50 kind of move, it's going to cost him a position and cost him the chance to win. So it has to be, a confident 70-80% move that's he would bet on that would work. Otherwise, going to cost him. Right now, however, if you just get onto the back of Kilo out of here, he could make a bit of a small look, because he does have a gap back to Toby Davis, who made a mistake through there, and that was frustrating Jesper Torborg, because he's allowed Davis to go in front of him, and now Davis is making the mistakes.
Very much the case. They're once again under brakes for the hairpin, and the gap was only half a second. But you can see just a little bit that Kilo's now more confident at holding the outside line, so I think he's. I'm not sure what the tactic was to try and hold the inside line, whether or not he was trying to just distract and cover off any attempt that Hack might have had, but he's held the outside line this time, so he feels a bit more confident to do that. Back on board with this fantastic roof cam we've got hanging out the side of the car, and the other side as well. And chicane again, and Hack, I know that this would mean a hell of a lot if we manage to pull off his victory. We're on lap 27, so this another 3 laps to go left in the season. And as I said, what a season it's been, plenty of racing and passes action, a lot of incidents and controversy. But what a story it would be is that if Chris Hack could somehow find a way through in these last 3 laps to take his first ever TPS victory on the front row of the grid, would be an absolutely fantastic way to round off the season, as well as the fact we have our champion Jack Keithley, as we're seeing on the screen right now, in front in 8th position, under pressure from Chris Butcher. Would have had a good top 5 finish had it not been for the incident with John Monroe, who subsequently has retired from this race due to suspension problems, most likely from some kind of accident. Butcher now looking to the outside of the champion. He's going to make a dive. But Keithley again holding that inside line. He's very good at doing that. Butcher will try and get the switch back, but he hasn't got enough traction, and it wasn't the best line to try and make the switch back through there. So they head uphill once more to start lap 28 of 30 here at Knockhill. Looking back to Thomas Jacobs, that's carried down on the Scotsman, and another local driver around here trying to get a good result. Top 7, you would really appreciate that if you could manage to snatch it from Jacobs here. And Lots of Clintons lurking in the background as well, in the bright red Optimal Sim Racing machine car 93.
He's had a very good event, hasn't he? Just as I say that, almost cleans up Gary Lennon, but recovers it. He's had a great event as Owen Clinton. It's probably, I would say, the best event he's ever had in terms of race results. He qualified 5th once at Brasilia in the Virtual Mini Challenge.
Sorry,
and
Davis has passed Hack.
Yes. So what's happened here? Let's get this on the replay if we can. Down towards the chicane they come.
Did he
and has Hack made a mistake? I think Hack must have made a mistake there, because Davis just appeared out the other side in front of him. Back to live action, and we can't obviously see that move. It's typical, isn't it? Because it's right at the far end of the circuit, the hairpin. We always seem to get right to the moment of the move, and then we lose it on the replay. So we do apologise for that, but at the front of the field now, it's Davis. Oh, Davis! Hack's going to take the second place back once again, surely! Hack makes the move, it hasn't! It hasn't worked! That was his chance to have another go for victory, but it looks like Hack's chances here are going to go, and it's Davis who has the chance of getting past Kilo. Davis has had a strong race here, but it's been strewn with small mistakes, I would say, and that's really cost him quite a bit. Hack's going to have to try and go down the inside here. Davis has run very deep in to make sure Hack doesn't do that. And now Hack looks like that's not going to be a win for Chris Hack, or any challenging for a win. He was never in the lead of the race, of course, but he was right there, and he's not been able to make that move stick at any point at all. Kilo is still leading, as he has done for all 29 laps of this race, and we're on the final lap now. What can Davis do, though?
Hack at a look. This is deal or die, boys. Last race is like that for the season. Going to make a move. It has to be now. And Hack is in real danger here, losing third now to get the Toll Walk. Hopefully that's not the case, but we'll have to wait and see. We're going to find out as we come towards the end of the race here. Davis has come up 6 positions off where he starts in 8th place. On to the back straight towards the hairpin for the final time. And Hack is in real danger. He could be losing third, but at the front, Simon Keelov is going to round out his weekend. It's been pretty rocky. A lot of occasions where he's had some controversy. Hack's back up the inside of him, having to redefend from Talbot, but it's going to be to round off the final race of the season. Weaving already, have to be careful. You might lose it in a minute, but Simon Keelov crossed the line to round out this fantastic Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series with a second win, a double brace of victories here at Knockhill. Second, Toby Davis, and third, just at the line, goes to Chris Hack. So at least he retrieves a podium. But Jesper Talbot just being edged out. 5th goes to Lauritsen, just ahead of Strana in 6th position. 7th place coming across the line, we waited Pico Rodriguez. Great result for him to get a top 10. And our champion will round out his fantastic season with an 8th place, just edging out Chris Butcher, as also Thomas Jacobs denies Gary Lennon on the top 10, and also 12th and Scott Sovic 13th. But guys, sadly that's it. That's the racing all done. We'll get our reaction from the drivers soon, but I think it's a series which TPS can be proud of, I think, don't you?
Absolutely, and Simon Kilo will be very pleased with that. That's the 3rd time this season that he's taken a double win. So when he's been on form, he's been on form. He took a double win at Brands Hatch in the first round of the season. He also took a double win at Thruxton, and now he's taken a double win in the final round of the season. So 6 wins for him in the season, Simon Keelan. That's 2 more than the champion Jack Keithy. But Jack has put together a fantastically consistent season. Didn't need to do too much here today, of course. Disappointed the fans a little bit with some lacklustre performances, but he has earned the right to be able to take it easy in this race today, and he had some fun in that final race also as well. I don't think there's any question about the driver of the day, Tom.
Not at all. I think he's taken lights to flag in the race, in race 2 here, and proven what he can do from the front. He raced really well in race 1, coming through the pack a little bit to lead and kind of do the right thing at the right time and get his head down. So no, congratulations to Simon Keelov.
Absolutely, thank you for that, Tom. And listen, before we go to a quick video break here and to driver interviews, of course, Tom, this is the first time you've ever been involved with this, this kind of event. How have you found it from your point of view and your experience in real life motorsport, for example?
It's been really interesting insight into the sort of online sim racing world, and it's amazing how accurate and representative of what I do this is. And you can see the driving talent out there is extremely good, and I think we'll soon see in a month or 2 how good it actually is in real life as well, alongside me in the car.
And you must be looking forward to that. I mean, you've never done this kind of, well, I don't know if you've ever done this kind of thing before, just taking a virtual racer and pop them in a car. How do you think that's going to go? Do you think Tony's looking forward to it?
I think, looking at how everyone conducts themselves over the race evenings here, I think the drivers that you have within the series are, very, very professional and have a great idea of what they're doing. So I don't think it's something to shy away from at all. I think the fact the CV that Jack Keighley has is very impressive, and it shows that he's not only got outright pace and speed but consistency as well. And so I think the mindset is there, and I think he'll have a great time in the car and really show what he can do.
Well, thank you to you, Tom. Of course, without yourself and Team Hard's support, Tony Gillam, obviously in particular as the team principal, this would never have happened. So the whole of the sim racing community and everyone, of course, at TPS, and Scott and all the drivers, myself, Keith as well, who you commentated with earlier in the season, are all very grateful for the effort that you put into this, and the initiative that's gone into it as well. Because without you, obviously, it would never have happened. So we would like to, at this point, extend our gratitude to yourself, Tom, for being here, and obviously it's been a pleasure commentating with you as well.
No, I think that's absolutely replicated as well. It's been a pleasure to be involved with it, and it's it's a hugely professional series, and all credit to you guys for putting it together and keeping it going. I know you put a lot of effort into to making it happen season on season. So congratulations on a fantastic product.
Thank you, Tom. So I'm going to go to a couple of quick videos here, and then we'll go to the driver interviews. Good luck also to yourself, Tom, in the upcoming British Touring Car races. I know Snetterton was a little bit more difficult than you wanted it to be, but you must be looking forward to Knockhill.
Exactly, Snetterton didn't go to plan at all. We won't talk about that too much, but the development we've learned from there should hopefully put us back up where we need to be for the races at Knockhill.
Well, good luck for that, and everybody at TPS is rooting for you, and I mean everybody at TPS, and they all follow you with great endeavour as well. We're going to go to a quick break here, and we'll be back with the driver reactions. Stay tuned.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing, puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
Hello and welcome back to the final race round of the season and the final driver interviews of the season. And who better to start with the driver interviews than our new champion, Jack Keighley, your 4th Touring Pro Series title, and surely your biggest achievement in sim racing.
Well, biggest achievement, well, in terms of, it is, all right. But, yeah, I'm just very grateful for my teammates. They've done a really good job all year, and for Tom Onslow-Cole for being part of this series, and thanks to TouringProSeries for having this amazing championship and a very good package.
Thank you, Jack. Obviously, you're now the reigning champion. It's all over for you. How did you feel when you crossed the line after race 1?
Just elated, I was just over the moon, but I was always thinking, okay, I'm over the moon, but there's another race to go, so.
I mean, you sound like the whole weight of the world has been lifted from your shoulders.
Basically, because if this was any other track, I wouldn't be, because I was nervous, of course, but I'd have been perhaps less nervous if this was like Silverstone or any of the tracks we've had previous. But because it's Knockhill,
and you obviously have difficulty here. I mean, you didn't really show any speed at all here at this track. Was that you just going out to have fun, or you just didn't quite get it hooked up at all?
partly getting hooked up, but I'm not exactly sure because, yeah, race 2 pace didn't seem to be awfully that great when it seemed to have been in previous race runs before, but for some reason this one it didn't seem to be. So.
Well, of course, it didn't matter because you've already wrapped up that title over 20 races this season. Have a look back over the season in your mind a second and pick out 2 or 3 moments that stick out for you, good or bad.
Moments that stick out. Of course, Brands Hatch first round, where whole team, me, Alex, and Lasse, and Simon at the time, we were at the time 1, 2, 3 it was in both races, I think it was, and Verano was nearly going to be the same, but we had some sort of a team squabblings which I wasn't too pleased about. So.
And anything else that stands out throughout the season? I mean, you had the contretemps with THR at Most, of course, and then some good races obviously throughout the season. And we were talking about earlier about you haven't taken too many wins this season, only 4 wins in the entire season, but it's been the run of podiums and top 5s that's done it for you. Was that the plan at the start of the season? It's a daft question to ask, I know, in kind of the way, do you want to do really well every race? But was the plan, go for a good result rather than win or broke each time?
Neither of it. It's just do the best I can, but consistency, it wins your titles, and yeah, like to be consistent. You plan it, but it doesn't exactly mean it's going to happen. So, but to be this consistent all season, yeah, I couldn't really have asked for more.
And now you have taken your 4th Touring Pro Series title. Only Jesper Torborg has won more, who's won of 6, of course. And we talked about in the broadcast, we talked about it many times before, the level of competition in the Touring Pro Series has increased over the last couple of years. I mean, you obviously experienced yourself and been part of the fact that the competition has increased. But it's still yourself and Jesper who are winning the titles. Why do you think that is?
Don't know. I mean, I guess with the level of competition rising, we all have to up our game and have to put in more work, more effort for setups and lap times and all of that. And well, I don't know how long this will carry on for, but it'd still be good to see in future more other talent who are pretty rapid coming.
And finally, how much effort has it taken? You've obviously you have to work very, very hard to win the title, and of course you've had to run the team at the same time, which is a new role for yourself.
Yeah, so first I just want to say thank you to the Precision Management to let me have this job anyway as a team manager of Touring Division. But yeah, having to do the driving, management, and as well FSR at the same time, it can be a handful.
I mean, how have you coped with that? What kind of things have you put in place to make sure that you're able to do all of those jobs efficiently?
Just give myself plenty of time to put the effort in, really. And normally, when a race is going on, there's only been very, very few races. There's actually been lots of chatter from me to the other guys, but apart from that, it's all been good.
Okay, so congratulations to Jack, a very humble champion also, as we will all agree. And good luck, of course. You need to represent TPS well, please, when you go and test the car. No pressure. And Tom's looking forward to working with you as well. He said so in the broadcast. So congratulations on that. Enjoy that prize as well. And speaking of prizes, just before we go to the next interview, there are 2 other prizes up for grabs. Every driver who started each race of the season will be entered into a draw to win not only VIP tickets, that's one of the prizes, one of the drivers will win that, VIP tickets to a BTCC round of their choice. They'll also be entered into a draw to win the GamePod GT2 racing rig worth €1,600 as well. So everyone who's put in that effort will have the chance of winning that. So that's a fantastic prize, both from GamePod and from Team Hard as well. So we're really grateful for the support that GamePod and Team Hard have put into these championships, and they make it so much better. On to the next interview then, Scott, and I believe you've got our previous champion from last season, and that's Toby Davis.
I have indeed. Toby, of course, outgoing champion. You've had to surrender your crown to Jack, but I guess first, do you have any words for the new champion? Because, of course, he's now got to try and uphold the #1 for the following season.
Yeah, look, he put together a fantastic season, didn't he? And he fully deserves the prize and fully deserves to be the champion, quite frankly. Over the course of the season, he was simply better than us at THR, and Precision did a better job. And to be brutally honest, obviously I race in real life. I've actually driven a VW Golf in Tony Gilliam's Team Hard scholarship thing. So actually, it's quite nice that Jack gets to drive the car, and it's not me doing it again. So I'm looking forward to seeing Keith in action. I might come down and have a little watch and a little bit of TPS support there.
That's very good to know. Of course, you might even be able to give 1 or 2 points, of course, while he's out on track, because you've driven one of the cars as well.
Yeah, only don't spin it, which I nearly did twice.
Absolutely. But of course, looking back on this season, of course, obviously coming in this season, you were carrying #1, so there was obviously there was a lot of expectation for you to try and uphold the #1 and uphold the champion status. Also adding the fact, obviously, the added pressure, of course, of the whole Tom Onslow-Cole backing in the VW Cup prize as well. In the first couple of races, of course, and it was almost as if you were immediately on the back foot trying to chase after Precision. I mean, was that the case? Were you feeling any extra pressure because of what was at stake?
Absolutely. We were one step behind with the setup in the first few races. We were using what had worked the previous season, but the level had been stepped up. Jack and Precision had stepped the level up, and we needed to keep up with them. And we weren't quite able to do that for the first few races. We got on the pace, and then, of course, the mod changed, and that changed things. I actually reckon we had a slightly better setup and overall than Precision with the new mod. So if this championship does return in this state, then I do fancy that we'd still be competitive.
You definitely consider that when the brand new Clios came in, you feel that was the turning point in yours and THR season, the fact that you got on top of it, or was there any other moments that you felt there were turning points this season?
We had a very good car at Rockingham, and then immediately afterwards, Precision seemed to take another giant leap forwards that just sort of edged us out again. So, I'm not gonna dwell on the season too much. It is what it is. We tried as hard as we possibly could. We had 1 or 2 issues at the start of the season with drivers dropping out from our team, which was a little bit disappointing. And of course, we have taken the team's title, so it's not all lost. I think me and Jesper have taken the title for THR Orange, which I'm very happy about. So it's not all doom and gloom by any stretch of the imagination, but it's nice to get a few wins in such a competitive championship, which at the end of the day, it's one of the most competitive championships I've ever been in.
Absolutely, and of course, you've had a lot of ups and downs this season. Like I said, a few wins, a few bad races. I guess really to wrap it up is that going forwards now, of course, because if there's going to be any more clear championships, I'm pretty sure there will be, and going forwards into other championships for this season and going to 2014. What do you think are the main things that you've learned from taking part in this season of Clios, which you think are going to be useful for you useful knowledge for you going forward into the rest of the championships that you're sure to be taking part in?
Just that we have to do more setup work. We've done a lot of setup work this season, and we've come to a setup that's quite good. But still, we're still running several. Each driver has their own preferences, and I think there is a way of driving these cars with a very, very good setup that is quicker than having an individual setup just to your liking. But in this race, for example, me and Jesper had completely different rear camber settings. I had the car turning from the rear axle. Jesper had it sort of more understeery, I would say. And these kind of differences, they don't help the team going forward. So we need to look at it. But I would say that we did well as a team, and I'm pleased that there was that unity there, and there was no sort of squabbling between teammates and so on that can be tricky, and particularly with such a large entry from a team.
Well, you put up an incredibly valiant effort all season, an effort of a champion, definitely, I think everyone can say here. And I think it's great to see that you've are so gracious in defeat as well. The fact you've wished Jack Keithy well, and
he's a quality driver, Scott, and I'm sure he'll do very, very well. And
absolutely,
congratulations as well once again, Jack.
Absolutely, and congratulations on a great effort for the season this year as well, and best of luck going forward as well. And I'm sure you'll probably get him next time.
Let's go.
So that is Toby Davis, the outgoing champion. Ryan, I believe you've got our incredible runaway double winner from today. You've got Simon Keelov.
Yeah, Simon's had a really excellent season and an excellent, kind of recent TPS career as well, Simon. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was kind of the inconsistency that let you down, as well as, of course, the technical infringement at Most.
Well, yeah, I got a pretty good start, and then in the middle season I got some problems, and you didn't receive the logs, and I got a disconnect. So after that, I pretty much lost the move to drive, and yeah.
Of course, you've 6 wins you took this season, which is a fantastic haul for you, and 2 great wins here today as well. We saw you come under lots and lots of pressure, which you dealt with really well.
Yeah, today went really well. I didn't really expect that because I did like 30 laps practice, so I'm really happy that the team made a good setup so I could just get that straight on and just learn the track and just, so that was pretty good, so thanks to the team for that.
And not only did you take the 2 wins here today, you put together a quite incredible qualifying lap in qualifying 2. How on earth did you do that?
Yeah, no idea. I did 2 on our server, earlier today, but I didn't expect to go that fast again, so that was just perfect.
Well, congratulations for that, and good luck in the rest of the championships you compete in also as well. You've got the speed there, of course. You need to add the consistency to that, and then you'll definitely be challenging, of course, for those titles, the ones that you crave so much. So congratulations for today, and congratulations for the season also, because you've been strong.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Simon. Scott, I know we're going to now interview a very popular driver, Mr. Chris Hack.
Yes, indeed. Hacky boy, if you're available. Let's see, a couple of brilliant races for you, particularly race 2. We'll get onto that in a second. Race 1, though, you seem to have a pretty difficult start. Just talk us through what happened in the start, and then from there, just go through how that race played out for you.
The start, I stalled, basically. I actually stalled and got a bump start by whoever I stalled in front of hitting me. So, sorry for that. I don't know who it was, but yeah, my foot slipped off the brake and missed the accelerator, so that was great.
And then obviously from race 2, fantastic qualifying to put yourself on the front row alongside Simon. I'm not sure how disheartened you were to see him take pole by almost half a second, but still, have to admit, an incredibly impressive drive to see you stay up there and to keep up there with Keelov and not let the gap extend to more than a second. Just talk us through that, because of course not only did you have to try and close in on Keelov and attempt to pass, but you also had a couple of very hungry THR orange clears behind you with Jesper and Toby behind. So what was that like, trying to kind of cope in that catch-22 situation to attack Keelov but to defend from both of those guys behind?
Hard. I need a massage, I think. I think I might have tapped Simon a couple of times when I was just desperately trying to get it stopped to stop Jesper going past, and but I don't think it affected him too much. He was still far too quick to get a chance at passing. So yeah, it was good fun. I think race 1, I think I did enough to confirm my team in 3rd. So race 2 was going to be about getting stuck in and having some fun. So, and it was, but tiring.
And then I guess just to round off, of course, this season you've had a few occasions where you have really popped up and made an impact and been up there around the top 5 and challenging the top names for the likes of THR and Precision and what have you. As I asked with Toby, what do you think are the main things that you're going to take away from this championship? You certainly have developed as a driver quite a lot during the course of this Clio series. But what do you think are the main things that you think you'll be taking on board going into the future in future TPS campaigns?
Not stalling, learning how to qualify again, because I think I've only had one good qualifying session this year. I don't know, it was pretty good second half of the season. First half of the season I had a new job and busy, and I just wasn't enjoying it, so I wasn't putting the practices in, and it kind of showed because I wasn't very good. But I've had a decent second half, so.
Well done, great effort stage grab second. Of course, you could definitely give us some fantastic spectacles over the course of the season, and of course, fingers crossed we see more of you up near the front in the future.
Cheers.
So Ryan, I believe you've got the next man to speak to. I'm not sure who that is, but who have you got with you?
Let's speak to Eric Strana. And Eric had a couple of really good races, but just held up early on, it seemed. But this season has been one that's been successful for you, Eric, you would say, especially the second half of the season anyway.
I wouldn't call the first half terribly good. I mean, I was down in 20th, 15th, not showing up for races, stuff like that. But yeah, and then we changed the new mod, and that definitely helped. I mean, I've really found how to drive these things properly. I mean, the old ones I just couldn't get my head around whatsoever, but the new ones fit me a lot better. I don't know why. Due to my experience, they should not fit me at all with a bouncy everywhere, but they do. And I mean, yeah, 3 wins in 8 races, and yeah. I really should have been able to be with the top case today as well. But race 1, I mean, I caught up in the end, but I didn't have enough time left. And then race 2, you all saw what happened, and yeah, I'm just not going to comment on anything.
So we did have 2 battles, of course, with Rodriguez. So a little bit of battle in the first race, and then a huge battle with Rodriguez in the second race. We ended up allowing Lauritsen to go through. We were saying you're not particularly happy about that, it seems. But nope. You've developed very well as a driver in the second half of the season. Also, of course, in the virtual V8 supercars as well. You're going to be driving with our Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series champion at Bathurst, Jack Keithley. So obviously, we're looking forward to that. Going forward into the winter, we have just for the viewers at home, we've got the Virtual Mini Challenge, the Virtual Touring Masters, and the Virtual Supertech Series coming up. And they've all been fantastic championships in the past. Do you think you can challenge for the title in the Virtual Mini Challenge, especially, of course?
It's going to be difficult because I can barely take part. So that's going to be really difficult if I can challenge for anything there. Just because on a Monday, and as it looks now, I won't be able to do anything on Monday. So I'm kind of out of the game there. And then Supertech Series, I don't know. I just can't find them. I just don't have any grip in them whatsoever. It just feels like it's always sliding all over the place. So I'm gonna have to see what I'm doing wrong. It's obviously something, but
well, Jack has a decent setup for Virtual Supertech Series, and he's driving with you at Bathurst. So you could say, tell you what, Jack, as payment for allowing you to drive alongside me, give me a Virtual Supertech Series setup.
Like a punishment, but yeah, I'm not too optimistic that's going to happen either. But I don't know. Maybe I'll find something. I did at the end of last season. I did reasonably well for my standards at Sebring. I got top 10s or something, which was good enough for me. So hopefully I can start where I ended. Yeah, that's the right way. And the V8 where I ended on a sort of high note and started on a low note, and then went up and down. And yeah, Sydney go very well, and so I'm looking forward to Bathurst. It's going to be fun having Keithley alongside me. So we'll see what we can do. Yeah, just as long as I don't spin it, I should be fine.
Okay, thank you, Eric, and congratulations on your wins this season also as well. Your breakthrough wins, of course, in the TouringProSeries. Scott, you've got who was I going to pick out next for a victim?
Maybe we can have a discussion between what happened between Mr. Butcher and Mr. Monroe, possibly. We can get viewpoints from both of them.
Yes, that's.
Obviously,
do you want to take Monroe and I'll take Butcher?
If you want. Now, of course, guys, remember we're on broadcast, so keep it clean. John, we'll start with you. Obviously, starting with the first race, brilliant pole position, first of the season for you, of course, and beforehand you had more of a grasp of the Clio, this new Clio, compared to the last couple of races when it was. But you had a decent race, fell back a little bit behind your teammates. We'll just talk to what happened between them, because it looked as though, from our point of view, Butcher came across, but in all fairness, you didn't leave him too much room. Just give us your view of events.
Yeah, I mean, I was delighted with the pole position to start off, since I haven't really been, getting along with this Clio. It doesn't seem to suit my driving style. And absolutely delighted with the pole position. No idea how I got it, because I was watching the broadcast and all these guys coming through Sector 2 quicker than me, and I'm thinking, well, my Sector 3 is pretty poor. And somehow I managed to fend them all off, so that was good. And then started race 1, I managed to lead from the start. I knew I didn't have that good race pace. I knew, obviously, Simon and Alex were quicker than me. over race distance. But I mean, I was hoping to try and see if I could just defend my way through the race and see what came out of it. But then Alex managed to get a run on me, and I'm not gonna do anything stupid. I'm not gonna block, and he managed to get
John,
through.
stop beating around the bush. Get to what we want to know. What happened between you and Butcher?
Yeah. Well, once I was down to third, I think Chris got a good run on me up to the hairpin and got down the inside, and came out of the corner, and he was still alongside me down the inside. But I was really wanting to defend the position, because of course we're trying to finish as high possible to help Jack with the championship. So I think I was trying to fend off Chris around the outside of turn 1, and going into the corner, I thought I gave him enough room, but obviously not. I mean, originally I didn't realise it was a room issue, because I came out the first turn and I felt I was on the outside, and I thought, oh, I've done quite well to defend that position, and then obviously there was contact and into the tyre wall, and I was pretty angry at the moment. But then in hindsight, I haven't looked at the replays, but I mean, I didn't. Obviously, nothing was intentional, but I may have, not given him enough room, turned in too early, or whatever. And if so, I take full blame for that, and I apologise. But nothing intentional. And I thought I was giving him enough room. I mean, I'll watch the replay from onboard from my car, and I think it'll look like I was giving enough room, but clearly it wasn't. And Chris got over the anti-cut, and I apologise for that incident. But yeah, it was a real bummer.
These things happen. Congratulations on your pole once again, which is the second pole in a row at the time at Knockhill. So obviously the track is a bit of a bittersweet experience for yourself. So on to Chris. Chris, what was your view of that incident? Because you were running pretty well up until that point.
Yeah, I had really good pace actually, and I think I could have gone on to certainly challenge Simon up at the front. My opinion is. I felt it was pretty poor, in all honesty. I had a very good overlap, and then got forced up over the anti-cut, and that was it.
Oh, fair enough. Short and sweet there from Chris. Moving on through the rest of the... Congratulations on your season, Chris, as well. I mean, you didn't get a win like you have in previous seasons in Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series, but there's been spurts here and there. I know it's been obviously difficult for you. You're going to move forward into the Virtual Mini Challenge yourself. We'll go into different subjects, and you're looking to challenge for the title there, and finally win your first TPS title after being a bridesmaid twice.
Yeah, well, just to comment quickly on my season this year, it started off not really enjoying the mod, and I improved towards the end of the season. This new mod helped me, and practicing when I actually enjoyed the cars, so I think that's got a lot to do with it. But yeah, on to the minis. Hopefully, my power cable for my monitor won't let me down again. And, yeah, I feel like I've got a good chance. Obviously, the field's going to be really strong again. Not sure whether Robert's taking part yet or not. But I think Toby will be. I think Jesper probably will be as well. And Jesper's shown some really good pace over in other series using the minis as well. So I don't think it's going to be easy. But I'd like to think I'd be up there, and I'm certainly looking forward to the challenge.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Chris. And Jesper is looking to, by taking part and maybe winning one of the Virtual Mini Challenge races, he'll have won in every single series we've ever had in the TouringProSeries. He'll be the only driver to do that. The only reason he hasn't won a race in the Virtual Mini Challenge is he hasn't taken part. So if he does take part and does win a race, he will have a victory in every single series that we've ever had at TouringProSeries. Again, outlining how strong a driver he is. Unfortunately, we can't speak to him today. We're going to have a quick chat to Jonathan Auckland. Jonathan You had two excellent races, really, in terms of pace, and lots of good battles as well.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. Race 2 might have gone a bit better, but there were a little bit of contact, little bit of sides, a little bit of pushing and shoving as this track offers. But overall, very happy with the evening.
I mean, what's led to this this burst of pace? Because we've shown it a couple of times before, but it's been, few and far between, really, I would say. Do you think you can now move forward into the Winter Championships and use that and become more consistent running, near towards in the top 15 and near to the top 10?
I hope so. I'm not sure how difficult it will be, but I'm sure it will be very difficult. But I will definitely try my best to be able to stay up here now that I've been able to improve enough to get up there.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Jonathan, for your thoughts. Going to quickly move on. I think this will be the final interview to Jimmy Hughes. Jimmy, we don't hear too much from, but you had some really strong pace here today, Jimmy, but didn't quite get the results that pace deserves, especially, of course, in race 2. we didn't actually see what happened in race 2, so we could find out exactly what happened. That'd be great as well.
Yeah, race 2 was completely my own fault. It's probably only just that I finally make a mistake of my own to put me in the wall and out of the race, or out of contention over here in the Tom Onslow-Cole Clio Series. You might have caught it on the broadcast in race 1, but I was pretty leery going into turn 1 almost every single lap, completely on the lock start opposite lock. And finally it happened as in race 2, as the tyres got up to temperature. Everything was going well at first, looking to push on behind Pipo and Eric Strachan, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, just got it completely sideways going into the first corner, clipped the sausage curb on the inside. And that started me rolling, and unfortunately I had to turn out, and that put me in the wall, and had to pit, and yeah, over a lap behind by then.
Oh, so you did the Callan, it sounds like then.
Yeah, I had a go, but I managed to save it, so not quite the full Callan, I think.
And not quite the full Callan.
No.
It's not quite Carling. So, Jimmy, I've noticed before, actually, in the past, Jimmy, that is your driving style, especially in front-wheel drive cars. Well, actually, I've only ever seen you in front-wheel drive cars. That's rubbish. But in front-wheel drive cars, I've ever seen you. The back end is always so loose. I mean, have you ever thought about maybe changing the way you drive a little bit for that, or is that the only way you can get to grips with front-wheel drive?
Yeah, it's an interesting point. You mentioned I don't do a lot of rear-wheel drive. Maybe I'm just trying to make up for it by going sideways and front-wheel drive all the time. No, it's to be honest, I thought after Croft that I was going to be in good shape in this car. Everything went well there, but it's a circuit I've always enjoyed, and I thought, what with everybody going back to square one for the new car, I thought I might have had a better chance at pushing on with it, being on a level playing field. But unfortunately, I never really got to grips with it, and like I say, I was just all over the place in it, and never managed to get the back end settled under braking. But managed to get a good result in race 1, which I'm pleased with, because I didn't expect it from Knockhill at all. I've had an absolute nightmare in practice. So my best result of the season, P5, is definitely something to take away from the championship.
Absolutely. And moving forward, obviously you'll be looking to compete in the Winter Championships, I presume, especially the Virtual Mini Challenge, anyway.
Yeah, I'll be looking at the minis. I might look at trying to get involved in a bit more rear-wheel drive stuff, because I've been doing front-wheel drive for about 3 years now, and there's only so much understeer you can put up with. But yeah, no, definitely want to get involved with the minis again, and probably look elsewhere as well, and see if I can get into some of the rear-wheel drive series here as well.
Well, good luck in the rest of the championships in the winter time also, Jimmy. Thank you for your season also. And it's exciting to watch you anyway, as it is, so if that's any consolation. Even if you may be a little bit out of control, it's great for us to watch, isn't it, Scott? And Scott, the season is now over. Thank you to all the drivers for the interviews. The season is now over. Ended. It's been 10 rounds, 20 races. We've seen highs, we've seen lows, we've seen glory, controversy, excitement. What are your thoughts you're taking from the season?
Well, I want to apologise in advance now. I may go on for a little bit, but I want to say my piece on this one. So just please bear with me, Ryan included.
No problem.
Yeah, I think for a season it's been really great to see something at this level. I think it's been great to see the level of driving that's been on display. Sometimes a little bit questionable. For the most part, it's been really entertaining. I think it's fair to say, as we said earlier on, that there hasn't been a dull race in any of the 20 races that we've had across the 10 race weekends. Right the way from when the lights first went out in Brands Hatch to when the checkered flag fell at the last race here at Knockhill, it's just been non-stop action all the way. I think we've been just treated to an exceptional season of sim racing. I think probably some of the best sim racing, personally, competitive sim racing I've probably ever seen in terms of a whole season, not just one race. I mean, for me, it's been a huge privilege and a huge honour to commentate on something that's associated with someone like Tom Onslow-Cole and Team Hard as well. Of course, as an aspiring motorsport commentator and presenter myself, it's great experience, and also it's not just something to put onto the commentary CV. It's something that I can really take away and say it's been a great experience. It's been absolutely, for me, a joy to commentate with Tom at Silverstone and today here at Knockhill. I can't thank him enough for coming on board, and to thank Tom, Tony Gillam, everyone at Team Hard, and all the sponsors that came on board to support us, to Casio and to Miltech, obviously to the continued support from GamePod, from Cancer Research UK as well, who we always constantly support as well. And I want to extend a personal thank you, of course, to Ryan himself, to Keith, all the drivers and teams have put on a fantastic display of driving all race weekend. And I can't wait for the Winter Series to come through, for the minis, for the World Touring Masters, especially with the kind of cars we've got lined up to use the historic kind of DRM touring cars, the monsters that they used to use over in the German Touring Car Championship, the kind of old school DTM, if you want to call it that, and of course the virtual Supertech series as well. And it might sound like I'm being a bit emotional, a bit kind of soppy in this one, because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm a guy who wears a heart on my sleeve, and for me, it's kind of, I feel some guys a little bit humbled, but very kind of privileged and honoured to have been able to been given this chance to commentate on this series. I know that when the link up was first announced, I said to myself, this is something I have to commentate on because it's so prestigious, and I can't not be a part of it. And to be given the chance to say, okay, yes, we'll let you commentate on it, is fantastic. And I feel that I've developed quite a lot using it as well. So I guess really it's a personal thank you to Ryan for trusting me with commentary duties alongside Keith, and on one occasion on my own alongside. I haven't been too much of a burden with my waffling on and things like that. But,
absolutely not.
But I've always said it before, and I'll say it again, it's always a privilege to be around TouringProSeries to commentate here, and long may it continue for however long that might be, because who knows when an opportunity might come up when I get to do some more real stuff. But until then, you can be sure to count on me for all the different simulation leagues I'll be part of. TouringProSeries will always be one that I'll want to come back to in some context, and it'll always have as well as the other leagues I commentate for. I won't name names, but you probably know which ones I'm talking about. TouringProSeries amongst those guys will always have a place in my heart for that kind of thing, especially for events like this. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to Ryan and Keith and everyone at TouringProSeries. Fantastic opportunity, and I say roll on the winter, because we've got 3 brilliant championships coming up, and I'm definitely sure I want to be a part of at least one of them. So yeah, it's just even though it was a bit long-winded, I want to say thank you.
Excellent. And thank you to Scott, of course, for commentating this season also. Has been there virtually every single race.
Bar one.
Bar one.
It was
that was only because of a computer problem as well. So that shows great dedication as well, because we've gone through a few Keith has commentated, Danny has commentated, yourself, and also I've had to step in for the final 4 races of the season. But Scott talks about what we've got coming up in the Touring Pro Series, and that is in the wintertime. But before that, Scott, hold your horses, because we've got the Bathurst 500 coming up a week on Saturday. And a week on Saturday is the 20th of... Oh, no, it's not. In fact, it's the 24th of August, should I say, that will be taking place. And that is the final round of the Virtual V8 Supercars 2013 season. It will also be the final time we use rFactor on rFactor for the Virtual V8 Supercar Championship. And we're looking forward to a great race there. Co-drivers, long races, pit stops, superb track, of course, and people will be bidding to join the long list of great racers who've won there in the past. Gregory de Grief, Florian Strauss, and Michael Schreiner in 2011, and back in 2012, it was Jack Keithley and Peter Davila who took those wins. So they'll be wanted to add their names to that roll call as well. Of course, championship already decided, but the racing will be no less fierce. You can catch that, as I say, Saturday, 24th of August, and that will be from 6:15 UK time, 7:15 Central Europe time, and that's 5:15 this little evening, of course, GMT. So if you're in a different area of the world, you can just figure it out from there. Of course, if you miss it, you can catch up on YouTube. If you miss it and you don't catch up on YouTube, then you miss out, I'm afraid, because it's going to be fantastic racing once again. So, congratulations to Jack Keithley. Congratulations to THR Orange also as well for their fantastic Teams Championship victory. Good luck to Jack Keithley when he participates in his prize also as well. Congratulations to all the drivers who competed this season. It's been a fantastic show. Thank you to everybody who makes this possible. You say GamePod, Team Hard, Casio, Miltech, Inside Sim Racing, Tom himself, MultiBC, SimSync, Live Racers, rFactor themselves, of course. You've got all the people who make the people who made the cars. For example, Eddie 3 Spain and Crazy Vant, who made both mods that we've used this season, 2008, 2013. Everyone who's made all the tracks as well. It's a massive, massive list of everybody who makes these kind of leagues possible. It's not just one person, one organisation who organises these leagues. It needs everybody else to participate as well. So thank you to everyone who's done that. And we'll see you next year with some kind of fantastic league also for you then. Until then, Take it easy.
Bye bye.